maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-822-1716. 800-822-1716. 800-822-1716. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
The wreck out on Highway 99. I'm Chris Davis. This is what happened last night that had lanes of that highway shut down near White Lane. Police say witnesses told them around 6:25 p.m. someone was jumping in and out of traffic. Well, that person eventually ended up being hit and killed. It is still not clear why that person was doing that. The person's name has not yet been made public, and the coroner's office says they will do that later. Why a man from Bakersfield who was keeping bodily fluid in a bottle will go to prison. And if you have kids in the car, this one may be inappropriate for young ears.
Yeah.
Okay. The man's name is Fernando Moreno, and he's been sentenced to serve a year and a half, and he'll have to register as a sex offender for life for squirting semen on at least two women who were cleaning their cars at the Mystery Car Wash on Mount Vernon Avenue. One incident happened May 31st last year.
Because they knew that he was going to give up her boy.
The victim was able to get the
They were going to give up her boy.
Pick him out of a lineup. If you live in McFarland and you get a text that says you should take a survey about issues happening in the city, and that comes with a link, police are saying you probably don't want to tap on that unless you want your personal info getting into the hands of crooks. They say that one is a phishing scam, the kind with a PH, and that the city is not inviting people to take that kind of survey right now. Also, porch piracy is more prevalent during the holidays, and police are warning that you should take some precautions to keep people from stealing those hard-earned Christmas gifts. One way is to have surveillance cameras or a Ring doorbell so you can see who is on your porch. Another is to just have the packages sent somewhere else when you're not going to be home, like work, or keep them at the post office. Or you could have a neighbor pick them up. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think? This is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You got to get up close like this. Little bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good afternoon to you, wherever you may be, however you may be listening, or however you may be viewing, for those subscribing on YouTube. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Friday, my final Friday before a little-deserved but well-needed vacation. I complete the week next week. I'm working all the way up till New Year's Eve, or Christmas Eve, excuse me. And then the list of guest hosts rolls out, beginning on Friday with our guest at the bottom of the hour, Rick Bentley. Monday, Kathy Abernathy. Tuesday, Teresa Golder. Wednesday, owner-operator Casey Steakhouse, Cassie Biddle. And again on Friday, Mr. Bentley. But I have buried the lead quite obviously. The decision has been made, as I told you it would be yesterday. Zach Scrivener received a mental diversion. Coming up after the break, we're going to talk with Mr. Scrivener's attorney, arguably the finest defense attorney in Kern County. Humberto Sala will join us via the Rogers Brandon Global Telephone Network. Our phone number, 842-5376, 842-KERN. I doubt if I'm going to let you in because I've got a bunch of questions, my doggone self, quite obviously. It's a Friday, so at the bottom of the hour, after we speak with Mr. Sala, Rick Bentley will join us as per usual, KGT Entertainment reporter. Brandon Lang with tonight's Alabama-Oklahoma game, the slew of other pivotal playoff games tomorrow. And then, of course, there's NFL tomorrow and Sunday as well. We'll talk to Brandon at 4 o'clock. We've got the breakdown of the jury on the Hernandez case, the hot car mom. And much like a newspaper, when they make an error, I have to concede that I got the information unbeknownst to us that 17 had the same information. And this wasn't, a crucial part of the story that we weren't going to eventually find out. But I have the luxury of going at 3 o'clock and being able to beat them at 5, other than their internet stuff. So we thought we were breaking a story. And I received the correct information. I just reiterated it incorrectly. I believe that I said 9 of the Maya Hernandez jurors voted for second-degree murder, and 3 of the jurors voted for involuntary manslaughter. I couldn't have been more wrong. It was the exact opposite. I had it written correctly on my notes. I just read it incorrectly. I don't know if that's a life of THC or 63 years, but I apologize for the error. 9 of the jurors voted for involuntary manslaughter. 3 of the jurors voted for second-degree murder. You'll hear from Clayton Campbell, who we had on the program yesterday, and get his thoughts on justice and the breakdown, et cetera, et cetera. And then Nick Ragone is going to join us live from Malaysia. Yeah, seriously, live from Malaysia, where it is currently, I believe it's 5 a.m. now. So he's joining us 5 Pacific, which will be about 7 o'clock his time. We'll talk to him. The PNC is this weekend. The one beyond the Masters and maybe the U.S. Open, literally one of my favorite tournaments of the year. It began as a father and son thing about 30 years ago, and now they've expanded it to include grandfathers playing with their grandchildren. Lee Trevino plays with his grandchildren. It involves mothers playing with their sons. God dang it. Who's the greatest female player who recently retired from Sweden? Come on. Well, you know what I'm talking about. She plays with her son. They've expanded it. Daughters are now playing. And to be honest with you, I didn't check. I'm not even certain. I know Tiger Woods has been hitting balls. I'm not sure he and Charlie are playing. I would expect they are not.
Sorenstam?
Annika Sorenstam, thank you. Annika Sorenstam plays with her little 12-year-old son. In fact, they're one of the favorite groups because this 12-year-old kid plays out of his mind. And he's playing with, as I mentioned, arguably one of the greatest female golfers in the history of the sport. But it's just a fun event. We'll talk to Nick about that and life in Malaysia, I suppose. And we've got more on the Epstein dump. By law, the Department of Justice had to unveil all it has. And the latest on the unfortunate death of Greg Biffle and his entire family. His 2 children and his wife were on that plane, along with 2 other pilots. That's why they still don't know, because Mr. Biffle had a pilot's license as well. They don't know what went wrong with the plane that took off from North Carolina on its way to Florida and the Bahamas, and then quickly reverted back to the airport and crash landed trying to come back. And they don't know why or what went wrong with the plane, and they don't know who was piloting the plane, because, again, 2 of the other passengers beyond Mr. Biffle's family had pilot's license. So there were 3 pilots on the plane, and they can't tell at this time who was flying the plane. But let's get to, obviously, the story of the day. The Judge Stephanie Childs did, in fact, as I told you she would, provide a mental diversion for former supervisor Zach Scrivener. And now, if he completes all of the requirements, the 3 counts of child cruelty, the 2 arms counts will all be dismissed. It will all go away. And, we had Clayton Campbell on about a week ago regarding the Scrivener case, as well as the Maya Hernandez case. You'll hear him later on the program about Hernandez. And his defense was, I pointed out, as I will to Mr. Sala, there is an overwhelming consensus in this community that Zach Scrivener got a gargantuan pass. And Mr. Campbell is quick to point out that this comes from the AG's office. The AG, Rob Bonta, and his office are not on great friendly terms with Cynthia Zimmer. Mr. Bonta is a Democrat. Mrs. Zimmer is a Republican who is Zach Scrivener's aunt, as I think most of you know. And so there's no reason that the AG's office would go soft on Mr. Scrivener. And I say absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I think there is a bigger picture. And as Lyndon Johnson once said, the only thing better than doing somebody a favor is doing somebody a favor and having that favor in your back pocket. Now, I am implying that perhaps in their thought process, Zach Scrivener is a gnat on the elephant's ass of the AG's office. They don't give a damn what happens to Zach Scrivener, but why not do one of the 58 DAs in this state a solid and let this guy get a pass? I'm implying that because I can't prove it. I don't know that. But this thing has stunk to high heaven from the very day Zach Scrivener was not put in cuffs, the very day that the top cop in our community called the sheriff privately on cell phones and asked him to intercede over the Tehachapi Police Department. This thing has stunk like old fish. And I can't wait to see the obligatory KGET 17 poll tonight when it's 96-4 in this community who believe that Zach Scrivener got a pass. Let's go ahead and take our first break and get his defense attorney in here. HA Sala will join us after the break. Then at the bottom of the hour, we'll resume a typical Friday broadcast with one of our favorite guests, who's the only guest who gets to host the show twice while I'm gone. We've designated each regular to host on their day. So Kathy will host on her Monday. Judge Goldner will host on her Tuesday. Howard's up in the mountains. He don't come down here to host. So Cassie will do Wednesday. We're off both Thursdays, Christmas and New Year's, but we are here the following Friday of Christmas and the following Friday of New Year's Day. So Mr. Bentley gets 2 shots at it, 2 Fridays. Quick break. HA Sala Umberto joins us next.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
I'm tired of waking up and hearing another case of the DUI. We just had the Madison Williams case where she was found guilty. We have another trial going on where a 6-year-old was killed. Now again, I'm hearing an 8-year-old is dead because of an alleged DUI. Something needs to be done to fix this.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
One of the highlights of this radio broadcast appears on Thursdays at 4:30. Our money man, Daniel Petrie with Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. You all know by now what Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors are all about. You know that I've turned on staff members who are extremely happy with being a client with Daniel. And I've told you, I've been a client for almost a decade now, and it is the single most important and smartest financial move I have ever made. If you're staring at retirement late in life and you're in the fourth quarter, call Daniel, 395-9400, 395-9400. Just keep it locked. Tune in every Thursday at 4:30 when it appears on the broadcast. Daniel Petrie and the folks at Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors.
This broadcast is for informational purposes only. Does not constitute a solicitation or offer to buy or sell any security, future, option, or other financial instrument, or to offer or provide any investment advisory or other services to any person in any jurisdiction by Daniel Petrie or MPWA, DBA, Messmaker, and Petrie Wealth Advisors. Any views expressed in this broadcast by us are prepared based upon the information available to us at the time, and we are under no obligation to update our views.
Are the rising waters of expenses and debt threatening to drown you? Many people try to stay afloat by borrowing more money or using debt settlement programs. programs, but those can take years. If you're trapped under credit card debt, medical bills, payday loans, or buy now, pay later plans, Chapter 7 bankruptcy could free you much sooner, in about 4 months, and for a fraction of the cost. Stop the harassing calls and letters, rebuild your credit quickly, and clear the way for a fresh start. At Clean Slate BK Group, consumer Chapter 7 bankruptcies are all we do. We can help you erase credit card debt, medical bills, personal loans, even past due utility bills. Find out if you qualify at no cost and with no obligation. Go to csbk.com. This is an attorney advertisement. Your results may vary, and prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome. Clean Slate BK Group PC, located at 7 Penn Plaza, Suite 601, New York, New York 10001, is responsible for the content of this ad. For more information, visit csbk.com. That's csbk.com. Your clean slate starts here.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Charlie Kirk Show, weekdays at 6 p.m. on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
Coming up bottom of the hour, it's a Friday. Rick Bentley, KGT Entertainment Reporter. Then 4 o'clock, our college and NFL handicapper Brandon Lang. Oklahoma taking on Alabama tonight at 5 o'clock. It's a good ball game. In the meantime, the defense attorney for former supervisor Zach Scrivener, Humberto Sala, joins us. HA, thanks so much for taking the time and coming on the program.
Of course, Rob. How are you?
I'm extremely well, sir. How are you ready for your holidays?
Almost. Almost there.
Well, you're doing better than I am. I haven't bought a gift yet. Let's start simply. What happened this morning?
All right. We had filed a petition under the statute for mental health diversion that has a number of requirements that have to be met, and that includes qualifying offenses. We filed extensive briefs on that. The Attorney General filed very voluminous brief as well opposing the motion. The court then heard arguments from both sides after those arguments were presented, which cited not only the statute, but also a myriad of appellate court cases preferring mental health diversion over, say, incarceration. And the court then applied all the applicable factors and granted diversion for Mr. Scrivener.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but much of this was based on the analysis of one physician. Is that correct?
Of a mental health professional, a forensic psychologist. That's correct.
Who selected?
And let me clarify that. But that was also based on numerous other mental health providers that had treated Mr. Scrivener not only before this incident in April 2024, but after, and they reached the same diagnosis that the forensic psychologist rendered as well. So it wasn't just the expert that we called, but quite a number of other psychiatrists and psychologists as well.
Who selected the forensic psychologist? Was that you? Was that the judge?
No, that was me.
And why? And I know you don't want to speak for the AG's office, but why would they not submit their own psychologist? Why wouldn't they insist, let us put our own? Yes, absolutely.
You want my opinion?
Absolutely.
Because I don't think they could find a psychologist or psychiatrist that would rebut the expert we presented, because we were absolutely dead on as far as the diagnosis for several mental health disorders. It's just something that could not be rebutted effectively or at all. So that's why I believe they didn't present one. They couldn't find one that would render an opinion to contradict our expert.
When did the initial mental health analysis begin on Mr. Scrivener? Was this prior to the incident in Tehachapi?
He had received treatment before that incident in Tehachapi, and then, of course, after the arrest, correct.
And what was the analysis prior to the incident in Tehachapi?
He was diagnosed with major depressive disorder, alcohol abuse disorder, and anxiety disorder.
Was he prescribed any medication?
Yes.
Can you tell us what medication he was on at the time of the incident?
I don't recall specifically the medications, but those medications were found in the residence at the time the deputies arrived. These were medications that were prescribed to treat major depression and anxiety, and it was confirmed that these were valid, legitimate prescriptions by the Attorney General's office.
Local defense attorney HA Sala is our guest. Now that this is all but over, can you walk us through what happened that infamous day up in Tehachapi?
I can't, because those reports have been ordered sealed by the court.
Do you still dispute what Sheriff Donnie Youngblood initially told us, that there was sexual contact between Mr. Scrivener and one of his children?
Absolutely. I do not believe, and when you're talking about sexual contact, there is sexual contact in terms of what is commonly referred to as sexual molestation, but that requires a specific intent that could not be proved in this case. And that is why I've to that extent, I disagree with the sheriff that there was a charge of so-called child molestation, because that requires a specific intent that was not present and could not be proved. And I said that from day one, that these allegations could not be proved. And today, the Attorney General in his opposition conceded that he could not prove that allegation, because if he could, then obviously diversion would not have been granted.
So there was contact, but not sexual molestation. Does that mean that the description that Mr. Scrivener was in bed with his daughter is accurate?
Well, we can't get into that because, again, those are contained in reports, and there were allegations that would have been very aggressively, very vigorously litigated if this had gone to trial. Obviously, we didn't get that far, but these were allegations that we totally disagreed with. Mr. Scrivener was suffering from a major mental health disorder at that time. There's no doubt about that, and that is why, in my opinion, there wasn't any mental health expert presented by the Attorney General's office.
Yeah. What drugs was he on the day of the incident?
The prescription medications that he had been prescribed for.
There were reports of coke, benzomethamphetamine.
Well, you said under the influence. He was not under the influence of cocaine.
Had he taken cocaine?
I don't know.
Okay. Why did he quit his job? And has he, since the incident, done anything to support his family, his children, his estranged wife?
Well, he has tried, but obviously he didn't have a job due to the mental health disorder that he was suffering from. And he felt it was best for his constituents to resign the position. He's been obviously looking for a job, but it's very difficult given this environment that he has been, in my opinion, falsely accused of so-called sexual molestation. It's just virtually impossible for him to seek gainful employment. The vitriolic attacks that he has been subjected to has very much prevented him from doing that. And much of this is because folks do not understand the mental disorders he was suffering from, the treatment he was going through. Because I'll tell you one thing, if that were not credible and could not have been proved, the judge would have denied the motion.
Yeah, you may have answered my next question, but I'll ask it nevertheless. You are one of the power players in this community. I think it's safe to say you have a pulse on, you have a finger on the pulse of this community. You have to know that an overwhelming majority of this community feels like your client got a massive pass when KGT, and I'm sure they will, does their poll, and polls don't mean a thing, but it's going to be overwhelming, if not 80-20, 90-10, that your guy got a pass. What would you say to the community?
That's unfair. One, they're not aware of all the circumstances and facts in this case. I can tell you that the reports that were generated in this case were approximately 500 pages. And so there was a tremendous volume of reports, a tremendous amount of work regarding the mental health evaluation. So it's fundamentally unfair for people to reach conclusions. One, when they're unaware of the circumstances. Two, they're not lawyers, and in many instances, are not familiar with the legislature's very strong preference for mental health treatment. The legislature has spoken out that mental health treatment is preferable for someone that is suffering from a diagnosed disorder that contributed to the offenses. They have spoken loud and clear when they enacted that statute back in 2018. And also that statute has been interpreted by many courts throughout the state, many courts who have adopted the legislative intent and have overruled trial courts who have denied mental health diversion motions because of the legislative preference and all the circumstances relating to mental health. Okay. So how can someone make a conclusion, reach a conclusion, and say he got a pass when they're not familiar with everything I just said? It's just fundamentally wrong and unfair.
Okay. I'll leave you with this. My producer's head's about to explode. I'm running out of time.
Yeah.
What is his mental status today?
Well, he's still undergoing treatment, and he will, in fact, comply with all the conditions of mental health treatment that the judge ordered this morning.
And what's the next step? And that's when we'll find out if there's a complete dismissal?
Yes, so he has a compliance hearing in late January. The mental health providers have to provide reports to the court, and then there will be subsequent hearings to determine his progress. Ultimately, when the court is satisfied that he has complied with mental health treatment, which could last as long as 2 years, then the charges will be dismissed.
Completely goes away, and it's as if it never happened. Correct?
It gets dismissed, correct.
Very good. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you taking the time, and have a very Merry Christmas.
Sure. Same to you and your family, Rob.
Thank you. Take care. HA Sala, we got to fly. I ran a little bit late. Chris's head is all over the floor in the studio. Quick timeout. Rick Bentley's next.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Chris Davis. A person was hit and killed last night on Highway 99 near White Lane, say police. That happened just before 6:30. Police say that person, for some reason, seemed to be jumping in and out of traffic. According to witnesses, the person's name has not been made public. A phishing scam is happening in McFarland, and police say the scammers could steal your info if you're not careful. The victims have gotten a link on their phone asking them to take a survey about issues happening in McFarland.
And how did he get away
Tapping
with
on that
wagging
link
the gun
is the big
around his
mistake,
fist?
say police. That could end up with your personal info in the databanks of scammers. If you're filling up for the weekend, a gallon of regular on average is now $4.28 in California, says Gas Buddy. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-399-7272. 800-399-7272. Again, that's 800-399-7272.
The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
It's a Friday, and I just want to make one final quick editorial note. I made a producer's error in booking Mr. Sala at 15, where we have a hard break. But I didn't want to have to wait until all the way till 4:30 when I could have gone as long as I wanted to. But that was a mistake because there were several questions. JR came in and posed one. If Mr. Scrivener was suffering from such a mental health issue, why in the world were those 3 kids left in his care? And there are several other questions that I didn't get to, but it is what it is. We all predicted it. We knew what was going to happen, and it happened. And that's really all you can say about that.
Yeah, it's
Sorry you have to walk into this.
No, it's okay. It's horrifying. And it's a story that's not going to go away. And I wish I could think of the silver linings that's going to come from this, but right now my brain is so embroiled by the hatred I feel for this whole story. So anyway,
yeah.
I'd like to talk about something lighter. If we could
Absolutely.
Please. I want to be that sort
Change the channel.
That sort of palate cleaner.
Yes, so, please.
Okay, I have 2 things in TV world I want to talk about real quickly, and then I also have a quiz for you.
Oh, you know I love my quizzes.
Which do you want first?
Let's end with the quiz.
Okay. Well, first off, have you noticed who's coming back to host the Golden Globes?
No.
Our favorite host, Nikki Glaser.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we both like
I do like Nikki Glaser.
So as much as I hate the Golden Globes, I'll watch for Nikki Glaser.
I feel the very same way.
The other thing I wanted to point out, we had this discussion last week about how I've been predicting for years that the NFL is going to end up on streaming.
Yes.
And now it's going one step more horrific.
No.
It was just announced that the 2029 Academy Awards will be on YouTube.
Really?
After being on ABC since 1973, they're going to YouTube starting in 2029.
Is television dead?
Yep.
Television as we know it is dead.
It's not dead. It's
an ICU, boy.
It is. It's that big.
Yeah. Good. Google it.
Yeah. Every time, because the 2 biggest money makers for network television for a single event, I'm not talking the Olympics, so I'm just talking a single event, are the Super Bowl and the Oscars.
Yeah.
And so when you lose that chunk of money with the Oscars, how do you replace that? You know, and I will guarantee you the Golden Globes, the Emmys, the Grammys, they're all going to, the Tonys are all going to follow suit, and they're all going to be on.
So the Oscars are doing this.
The Oscars are the ones doing it.
I think you said the Golden Globes. at the initial.
No, I was talking about Golden Globes with Nikki Glazer, but then I said the Oscars are moving too.
Okay, then I misheard.
From
I
ABC.
misheard.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's stunning because, like I said, they've been there since '73, and have been a mainstay for ABC to build around. You know, we've got the Oscars again this year, blah 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 blah, and they would milk it for for weeks. So that's just to me. Each time I look at the news, I'm seeing one more example of the networks being chipped and chiseled away. Until what are they going to have left? Are we just going to be 24 hours Survivor?
I can't name a network television show that I watch.
That you watch, or you just can't name one?
That I watch.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or probably name my
one.
memory. But I mean, Saturday Night Live, local news, and that's about it.
Well, Saturday Night Live is a network show.
That's what I'm saying. I'm naming. That's it. The news and Saturday Night Live. That's about it.
And sports. But
and sports.
Again, I don't count that as.
I don't count that either. Neither do I.
Yeah. And again, even the networks, I feel like have given up. It's like every time I see a full night of NCIS or a full night of Chicago Med, Fire, whatever it is, it's the network saying, look, we know you like that show. We're just going to try to repeat it over and over again because we have nothing original left in the tank.
Yeah.
And so they're committing suicide, but it's very slow.
Yeah.
But we're seeing more and more signs of it.
Speaking of rehashing, I understand there's going to be a second Everybody Loves Raymond reunion.
That one went over so well that look, in this era of bringing back shows.
No kidding.
I could very well see Prime Video or Hulu or somebody putting on Everybody Still Loves Raymond.
I know. Instead of doing a reunion, why not pick it up there in their late 50s, early 60s? Let's deal with it.
Unfortunate thing, you have one cast member, major cast member, who won't be there.
Well, two. Isn't both the parents gone?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. So
and one of the twins died as well.
Yeah, but did we ever see those? I mean, it was like the Richie Cunningham brother story.
Yeah,
it was like
Chuck
went upstairs one day, and we never saw him.
Never saw Chuck again.
Exactly.
In the Cunningham family.
Yeah,
that's funny.
There's a lot of those little stories about characters who were put into a show or taken out of a show and without mention.
Yeah,
it's like, hey,
and they just one episode, they're not there and they're gone forever.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's get to the quiz.
Yes, please.
I built this quiz around TV and film.
Okay.
So that gave you a shot.
Is this 21st century TV and film?
This is 21st century.
I'm out. I'm out.
Well, actually,
I'll give it a try.
No, actually, this goes back into the 20th century.
Okay, then I got a shot.
You have a shot.
I got a shot.
There are 11 questions.
Right.
You have to get 6 of them right to be on the nice list.
All right.
I will tell you, when I put this list together, I was instructed, make it as simple as possible. So if you miss them, God help you.
Okay, thank you.
Here is the list. We'll start with an easy one. What is the name of the Grinch's dog/reindeer in How the Grinch Stole Christmas?
Have we met, Mr. Bentley?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen The Grinch Stole Christmas, to be honest with you.
One of the greatest animated holiday films.
I love the song, but I don't think I've ever seen it. No. I certainly didn't see the Jim Carrey movie.
Well, who did? I mean,
Jim Carrey and his
You're talking about, How the Grinch Stole Cinema.
Yeah.
And that's what that was. It was.
I'm sorry.
It was bad.
I have no idea.
All right, you're 0 for 1.
Yeah.
It was Max.
Max. Yeah.
Okay. All right, this one's you're going to get because I'm going way back in time.
Okay, there we go. Here we go.
Mr. Peabody, I'm in the way back machine.
Right in my wheelhouse.
What is the name of the department store featured in Miracle on 34th Street? If you need a clue.
No, I don't need a clue.
If you need a clue.
I live in New York.
The store hosts a big parade on Thanksgiving.
It's Macy's, and their rival was Gimbel's.
Very good.
Thank you.
I
love that film.
You're 1 and 1.
Starring a very small Natalie Wood, Maureen O'Hara, and who plays Santa Claus? Who plays Santa Claus?
I don't know. I can see it.
Starts with a G. And I don't have a producer. I don't know where Chris goes in the middle of the broadcast, but we would ask our producer, but we don't have one.
He's having a smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Yeah. All right.
I hope he hears me in JR's office. There he is.
Yeah.
Who played
Gilbert.
Santa Claus in
Gilbert?
Miracle on 34th Street?
Gilbert?
No, we're not asking you. We're asking you to look it up.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Was it? I mean, was it?
No, it was okay. Gwen. something. I can't.
Yeah, it's going to find out it's Steve.
No. Oh, wait, hold on. I thought he had it. Go ahead.
All right.
Richard Attenborough?
No, the old one, the original.
Yeah, that's
the original.
Oh,
the 1935, 1940 version.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Who stars in the action-packed holiday film Die Hard?
Oh, please. Now, come on.
That is a Christmas movie.
It
is not a Christmas
It's a
movie.
Christmas
movie. Bruce Willis.
There you go. See?
And it's not a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
Who played him?
Edmund Gwenn.
Edmund Gwenn. I told you it was a G.
There you go.
Edmund Gwenn. Great actor as well.
And little people don't know that Edward Gwynn's middle name is Gilbert.
Shut up. You're so stupid.
trying to save the moment.
That was pretty good. That was a double against the
Again, these were told make them as easy as possible. So you only missed one. I'm very proud of you.
Well, you know.
What happens
Yes.
when a bell rings in It's a Wonderful Life?
Now, come on. You got to get a little part of this.
No, I'm keeping them as easy as I
An
can.
angel gets his wings.
Trust me.
And at the end of the film,
you'll miss the next one. So.
Clarence, the angel, finally gets his wings. The inept angel who they call on to save my cousin, George Bailey.
There we go. Okay. You're doing
I actually
well.
have a late cousin named George Bailey.
Oh, really?
I really do.
Is he dead or is it just always
He's
late
dead.
for everything?
No, he's
Oh,
dead.
okay.
He was a professor at the University of South Carolina.
Okay, let's make one hard for you.
Okay.
Since you feel like you're just
This
this is like
swatting his
Barry
way.
Bonds and
That's
throwing
right.
up softballs.
That's right.
To you.
That's right.
In Elf, what is Buddy's favorite pasta?
You know I'm not a whoever that is guy. Who is it?
Will Ferrell. And
Will
this is
Ferrell
the greatest
guy.
Christmas movie ever made.
Oh,
and
no,
I
it's
love this.
not.
If it's stuff you know, it's like, oh, those are so easy. Then you don't know. Hey, why are you giving me
I
these
told
tough
you,
ones?
once you get into the 21st century, who is it, Chris?
That would be, well, his favorite pasta is the spaghetti, but it's spaghetti with a whole bunch of sugary stuff on it, like chocolate syrup, marshmallows, and all this stuff that you really shouldn't.
Boy, that's hilarious.
Again, that's not the funny part of the movie.
No.
Oh, they just put that in there because he has a.
Oh, they put that in there because he's lived with elves his entire life, and all they
put
do
that
is
in
eat
there because
sugar.
they thought it was funny and it's stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid film.
Yeah,
Stupid.
it's the same film that has the four basic food groups of candy, candy cane, candy
Yeah.
corn, and syrup.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
We back in the 21st.
back into the 18th century for you.
Thank you.
How many ghosts visit Ebenezer Scrooge in A Christmas Carol?
Come on, Rick. Seriously, I could have answered that in 6th grade. The ghost of past, present, and the future. And the future is death. Comes in the Black Crypt and shows him that Tim is going to die. And then they take him to his grave and he sees his grave and he freaks out. And that's the crux of the film where he has an epiphany and he goes and gets the goose from Mr. Cratchit and gives him a raise and hires his nephew to be a partner.
I just love watching you dig this hole for yourself.
What, am I wrong?
Yes.
There are more than 3 ghosts?
Yes.
Actually,
if you're going to count his
oh,
partner, you can't count Marley.
How many ghosts?
Is a ghost.
All right, 4. I didn't think about Marley.
Okay. See, Mr. Hotshot. Oh, I got this answer. I'm going to play everything I got on black. Here we go. Oh,
You know what's funny? The very first time I saw Scrooge, I think I was in 5th grade. And when the doorknob turns into Marley, I damn near ran out of the theater.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for like these ghosts to appear, and the doorknob turns into his face, and I about had to clean my drawers.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
11 years old.
you're 3 right, 3 wrong so far.
Dang.
I'll take 500.
50%.
No, well, there's 11 of them. So,
Oh, I'm screwed.
yeah. All right. In A Christmas Story,
I got this.
what gift did Ralphie desperately want? If you're wrong, I'm going to shoot you in the eye.
See, this insults me.
The last one.
I mean, everybody knows this.
You
He
pulled the
wanted
last
the
one.
Red Ranger rifle, and everybody kept telling me to shoot his eye out.
That's correct.
I thought you were going to ask me what prize did Darren McGavin win? His father win? Now that's a good question.
Yeah.
Can you answer that?
What, the lamp leg?
That's right. The lamp leg.
The leg lamp?
Fragile. Okay. Ah, nice. Fragile.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that says fragile. No, it's Italian. That's funny.
In Home Alone.
This I'll get as well.
Where did Kevin's family go and leave him behind?
They went to Europe.
We cannot accept that answer.
They went to France.
Can you be a little bit more specific?
They went to Paris.
That is correct.
Hey, Val, what do you want? They went to the Ardèche River. What do you want from me?
No, that's close enough. It's just like, I'm not going to let you bloop a single and call it a home run.
Right,
okay?
right.
You got to get it over the fence. I don't know why I'm into all these baseball metaphors today, but it's working out well.
Okay.
Okay, what is the color of the ornament that Charlie Brown puts on his tree in A Charlie Brown Christmas?
Ooh, now that is a good question. What is the color of the ornament?
There is only one ornament on his little tree.
That bends the tree over.
Right? And I will tell you this.
Let me call Lisa because she's got the tree on her desk.
Well, I have the tree at my home. That's the tree I put up.
That's the tree that Lisa has on her desk.
Yeah.
Ooh, hang on a second. I've got an important thing to look at here. This is something.
Real quick, while we have a break in the
Yes.
A caller has called and tightened us up because technically you got the Red Ryder wrong. Or you said it was the Red Ranger rifle. It's actually called the Red Ryder BB gun.
Whatever. You wanted a gun. You wanted a BB gun. That's what I should have said.
I'm just saying, up for the judges.
We're going to go to the judges, and they're going to declare you an incorrect answer.
Ooh. Ouch.
Yes. Ooh.
When I know the dialogue to the damn show, the color of the bauble on Charlie Brown's tree was red.
That is correct.
Simsalabim.
Who played the dad looking for a Turbo Man toy in Jingle All the Way?
Mr. Burdick?
Arnold.
Oh, I could have guessed that. Dadgummit.
That's right. I'll be back with your toy.
I could have guessed that.
I was just bringing this movie up the other day.
I've never seen it, but I knew he started it,
Yeah,
so I could have made it.
Yeah, he had to fight the comedian for it, didn't he?
Yeah, Sinbad.
Sinbad, yeah.
Yeah.
Sinbad is in it?
Sinbad.
Really?
He plays a mailman who's also looking for that toy.
I knew that too, actually.
And they
The more I
go
think about it.
toward each other. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I actually, the year that movie came out, I bought a Turbo Man doll for my son.
And not to be the name dropper that I am, it's how I make a living sometimes, but I used to play basketball with Sinbad at Loyola Marymount University. He was part of a group that would play with us on
Was
Saturdays.
this like Sinbad Roberts or just the real Sinbad?
He was no, this is the Sinbad. He was on Different World at the time.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Late 80s. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And look where your careers went.
His went in the toilet and I became a superstar.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all your definition of toilet. You know,
Exactly.
it really is. Okay,
Yeah.
final question. Who does Charlie Brown get to do the voices of all the animals in A Charlie Brown Christmas?
His dear friend Linus.
Oh, you could have pulled it out at the last minute, but you blew it. Thank you.
It's not Linus?
No.
Who, Lucy?
No.
Who is it?
Snoopy.
How does he get...
You know, when they were making that show, the discussion was,
Wait, back up. How does he get mute Snoopy to do this?
Snoopy goes, moo.
Does he really?
Yeah, he walks like a penguin. Yeah.
Why don't I remember this?
Yeah, that's because when they were making the show, the conversation came up, is this the point where we have Snoopy talk? And they said, no, we can never have Snoopy talk. But having make sounds of animals made more sense to them. So
Wow.
So you failed. You're on the naughty list.
I am on the naughty list. I did learn a lot about Charlie Brown Christmas, that Schultz had to fight to get it on the network.
He did.
They didn't like the Bible references. They didn't like the overt allusions to Christmas.
Yeah.
They didn't like the idea of children and psychiatry.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
And Schultz
the 5 cents sign that Lucy put up
That
bothered
changes-
the network.
That changes when you're looking at different scenes, but And Schultz was adamant that all the voices of the children would be done by children.
Right.
It wasn't an adult female doing the voice of a kid. They were all young kids.
Again, not to do the name game thing, but I went to high school with the Shea Boys who played Linus throughout their childhood. It began with Eric, who you'll remember. Eric Shea played the small kid on the Poseidon Adventure.
Right. Okay.
And then when his voice changed, they gave it to Stephen, who was in my grade. And Stephen literally graduated from high school complaining because he only got to do it for like a month or like one thing because he did the Peter Brady and his voice changed. And he couldn't do it. And they all the Shea Boys sounded alike.
Okay.
And they all played Linus except Stephen got to play it for like just a month.
And I've always said the voice of Linus is just one of the sweetest voices.
It is.
When he comes
and
out.
Eric Shea was a great child actor.
I do want to
ended up being a little druggy, but
I don't
that's
like
beside
to
the point.
argue with a guest that isn't here to defend himself.
Yeah.
But in the previous show, we'll mention no names.
Mhm.
The statement was made that the Charlie Brown Christmas is one of the biggest animated shows every year at Christmas. This year, it wasn't on networks. The only place you could see that Charlie Brown Christmas was Apple TV Plus.
Really?
Again, going back to our discussion of the world's going to streaming service.
Yeah.
Now, I will give Apple TV Plus credit. For 2 days last weekend, they said you can click on our website, watch the Charlie Brown Christmas. We're not going to charge you. It's free. But that was the only place you could find it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are we going to see our children going to see all the regulars, the Santa Claus story? I forget what it's called, but where they give like how Santa began as a child and Rudolph and all those. Are those still going to be on network TV?
I doubt it. I doubt when contracts are up that there are going to be people waiting in line. You know, it's a competitive business out there between the streaming services as much as we can now that it looks like Warner Brothers is going to Netflix. But we're going to. I'm talking about. I'm saying that the writing's on the wall. When you look at what the NFL is doing now, what ABC's doing with the Oscars, I just really feel like that. And if things keep going bad for the networks, and our president pulls their licensing, then they're completely out of gas. You can't even broadcast.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do that.
Well, I mean,
I think that's a bunch of.
That's one of those swords hanging over their heads.
Yeah.
But
there's no question he's intimidated the networks.
Oh, yeah.
That's $16 million that CBS had to give up, but then ABC over the Stephanopoulos thing, and
and it drives me crazy in that there's a debate over editing. I mean, you and I have done stories over our careers where we've gotten 15 quotes from a person, and you don't need all 15,
right?
And so you use the 4 or 5 best, or whatever is best to tell the story. So could we have been sued for not using those other quotes? I mean, there's a point where there has to be some editorial license, and there has to be somebody making that judgment of this is what we need to tell the story. We can't include everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I do 15-minute interviews sometimes with people. If I just transcribe that, we're talking about 2,000, 3,000 words.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nobody's going to read that.
True that.
Yeah.
A stream of It's a Wonderful Life will likely begin probably this weekend, no later than Monday.
Yeah.
If you could replace that with a constant run of a Christmas film, what would you replace it with?
Here we go. This is where your head's going to explode.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Don't come up with like Elf.
Or Die Hard. I'm not going to
Die Hard. Because if Die Hard's a Christmas movie, so is Godfather.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not going to argue with you.
So is Harry Potter.
I've never seen any Harry Potter.
I would replace it with Love Actually.
You kept telling me to. I wrote that down. I'm going to watch that. I have not seen that. I'm going to see that before I get back from vacation.
It's just one of the great love stories. It's so well written. It's so structured so well. It's entertaining. Has a great cast. It really does. I mean, the song "All I Want for Christmas" by Mariah Carey, which gets played every 13 seconds on radio.
Yes,
that was the first place that song ever got used, and Mariah Carey gave special permission to the little girl who sings it in the movie She's the only one that got permission to sing that song other than Mariah Carey.
Really?
So that's where I think most people learned about that song was from Love Actually.
Okay. I would replace it with The Bishop's Wife, the original, with David Niven, Cary Grant, and I forget who the female lead is. But it's a great movie. I think it's more complicated than people realize because, and I hate to ruin it for you, and if you want to turn down your volume, I completely understand. But the bishop, the angel, Cary Grant, comes down to help the bishop and his wife. And in my opinion, in the film, my interpretation, he falls in love with the bishop's wife.
Right.
And in fact, there's a big speech where he says, I have to go because, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's a very complicated story,
Yeah, I know it.
but it's a lovely story. And it involves religion and faith and, you know, angels. And it's Cary Grant and David Niven.
Yeah, no,
I mean, you can't miss with that.
I'm not arguing with that. The only thing I would argue about Love Actually is it's new enough and it has some humor to it. There are moments of humor, and I think it will have a broader appeal because I think sometimes, you know, It's a Wonderful Life and you know, Scrooge is an amazing movie, but boy, it's a downer. I mean, it is. It makes you think. So,
but an uplifting ending.
Yeah.
The epiphany that Scrooge has is fun.
Yeah,
I saw the George C. Scott version the other night for the first time.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You know the one
George C. Scott was a wonderful actor.
Have you ever seen Mickey?
But he should never play Scrooge.
Have you ever seen Mickey Mouse version? The
No.
Disney version?
No.
With Scrooge McDuck as Scrooge.
No, I've never
It
seen
is, you know what? If you want to introduce that story to young children, that's a great one to do it. I mean,
I
it
honestly
still has all
thought
the
they
elements.
made Scrooge just solely for that role, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So,
well, sir, have a very Merry Christmas.
You too.
Thank you for filling in not once,
I know,
but twice while I'm on vacation. You're the only regular that gets to do that.
Thank you.
Because we have the Thursday off both weeks.
And I'm taking the
But
Friday.
we're here Friday after Christmas and after New Year's. I appreciate you so much for filling in.
Oh, glad to do it. And just as a preview, my December 2nd show is going to be my top 10 worst movies of the year and my top 10 best movies of the year.
I'll be sure to pump that up.
Yeah.
Rick Bentley, everybody. Quick time out. We're off to New York City. We got Alabama, Oklahoma, and college playoffs. Brandon Lang is next. That was great. I could have got
AM 1180 KERN.
I don't know why.
This is 96.1 FM. Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump says drug companies have agreed to reduce prices on some pharmaceuticals.
They've agreed to offer many of their flagship drugs, really all of their flagship drugs, at heavily discounted, most favored nations prices. In other words, whatever the drug sells for over the world, in the world,
you are
whatever
a good
the
man,
lowest
Rick
number
Bentley.
is, if it's Germany, if it's in UK, anywhere, we will match that price.
Meanwhile, a new AP North Poll finds that Americans are more likely to prioritize health care than they were last year. About 4 in 10 U.S. adults named health care or health issues when asked to name up to 5 issues they want the government to work on in the coming year. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has welcomed a massive aid package from the EU. Correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports.
The Ukrainian and Polish presidents have met in Warsaw to underline their country's unity in the face of Russia. Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky tells the media, "For us today, this is an important victory, and these 90 billion euros are very difficult for us without them. The fact that European leaders have found such a format, the fact that our team worked committedly with Europe on a positive solution, for us, this is strengthening. This is a signal to the Russians that there's no point in them continuing to fight." I'm Charles de Ledesma.
An autopsy has found that the man suspected in last weekend's attack at Brown University and the fatal shooting of a Massachusetts Institute of Technology professor days later had been dead for 2 days when he was found. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 183 points, the S&P advanced 59. More at townhall.com.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true, people are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes.
Yeah, I blew it.
A very,
I should have
very
booked him
smart
for
use of 2
4:30.
minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
A year and a half in prison for, well, a sexual offense. I'm Chris Davis. If you have small kids in the car, you may want them not to hear this one. Here's a second to mute it. A man who was keeping semen in a bottle and squirted it on a couple of women at the Mr. Car Wash on Mount Vernon Avenue, with one of those incidents happening on May 31st, 2024, will go to prison for 16 months and have to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. Police say Fernando Moreno would sneak up behind his victims and squeeze the small bottle. He was found when one of the victims took note of the info on his car, and police tracked him down using the registration. A person who was apparently jumping in and out of traffic on Highway 99 near White Lane in Bakersfield was killed last night in an incident that had the highway shut down for several hours. The name of the person killed was not made public, and the coroner's office says that will happen later. How to defeat the parasites known as porch pirates. Bakersfield police say one of the best ways is by using technology and common sense, namely installing security cameras and or Ring doorbells, then maybe having a neighbor watch out for and pick up your package. You could also have it shipped to the store or to one of those lockers. You could also have the post office hold the package for you until you can come get it. And here's another way you could be separated from your hard-earned money, and this one is specific to McFarland. Police are warning people who live there about a cleverly disguised phishing scam. The text claims to be a link to a survey specifically about McFarland issues, but police say the city is not sending out a survey and that the link is dangerous and could lead you to a site that will steal your personal info. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think, this is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get up close like this. Bing! You blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this Friday, my final Friday of the year 2025. Again, our lineup of guest hosts begins on next Friday with our last guest, our good friend Rick Bentley. On Monday, Cabby Abernathy will be hosting. Tuesday, Judge Teresa Golder. On Wednesday, KC Steakhouse owner-operator Cassie Biddle. And then the Friday after New Year's Eve, or New Year's Day, I should say, Mr. Bentley yet again. And then I return Monday, January the 5th? 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Yeah, January the 5th. Still lots to do. We'll get into the Maya Hernandez jury verdict and how it broke down. And you'll hear from Clayton Campbell. And guess who else has popped up in the news? Kristen Cabot. You don't remember her name, but I trust you. Trust me, if you saw her face, you would know who she was. She was the woman caught canoodling with her boss at a Coldplay concert that garnered 150 million views on the internet. She sat down with a magazine. I'll tell you what she has to say for herself. And our good friend Nick Ragone, live from Malaysia at 5 o'clock, giving us his thoughts on the PNC tournament coming up down in Orlando this Saturday and Sunday, where the dads get to play with their sons, the grandparents get to play with their grandchildren, and even some of the moms, Annika Sorenstam gets to play with her, I guess now 13-year-old son, who's one of the better young players. They're one of the real fun groups to watch. But in the meantime, oh, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. I've heard it all now. What's next? Michael Bublé? What the Sam Hill? I mean, the guy's a great artist, don't get me wrong, but Brandon Lang and...
All I hear is Step Brothers.
All I hear is The Sopranos.
Oh, true.
When Carmela was going through her little affair with Florio, whatever his name was. Brandon Lang, everybody. Interesting choice, my friend. Did that come directly from the newlywed, the wife?
That's exactly, he just said, baby said, did that come from the newlywed, the wife? See, I knew you'd know that it came from her. So we're watching a movie and she's waiting for me to finish up on radio. I'm like, babe, give me your favorite song. And the one she wanted was, what is it, babe? No, the one you wanted. Ave Maria. La Boheme.
La Boheme. Ooh,
that's the one she wanted. And I couldn't pronounce it. It took me like 9 days to try to pronounce it. She's like, don't embarrass yourself. I'm like, okay. She says, just give a Kelly. I said, okay, so we're good to go. But I thought
very good.
Out of that, so.
Very good.
By the way, why isn't Brandon Lane coming in and being a guest fill-in host for a whole show?
I never thought. Would you want to do it sometime?
That'd be epic.
Can we
do 3 hours?
Can we do it via telephone, Chris?
I mean, we would prefer him in studio, but yeah, I guess we could figure that out.
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely. Is it 3 hours?
It is 3 hours, dude. 3 to 6.
I'd definitely do 3 hours from a man. Give you a little break.
6 to 9. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
6 to 9. That's 9 to 12 here. Glass of wine. Get a little buzz going.
No, it'd be 6 to 9 your time. I'm 3 to 6 Pacific.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That'd be great.
All right.
We'll figure that out.
All right.
Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do the whole show with you on Friday prior to coming in for the golf tournament in March.
Okay, very good. That'd be great.
So
that would be outstanding. That would be outstanding.
So
all right, so we got a huge ball game tonight just to kick off the collegiate playoffs. Oklahoma and Alabama. I'm loving it.
Yeah, first of all, I spent an hour with my psychiatrist today and just had to work through some stuff, and she didn't understand why I did what I did, and I don't understand what I did. I came on your show last Friday, and I think I lost an NBA game. And then Saturday I had Army winner, Sunday Denver over Green Bay winner, Monday Pittsburgh winner, Tuesday Jacksonville State winner, Wednesday Old Dominion beat South Florida, rolling into last night looking for winning day. Number 6 in a row. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. College football winner, number 4 in a row. Life is good. Let's go. Looking at Arkansas State over Southwest Missouri State. Life is good. B-Lang, bring it to the house, but no. Talked myself into Seattle. And the line went off at 1.5. And then when Cooper Kupp fumbled at the end of the first half, I went upstairs. Ellen was in bed. I got the loser. I was a loser. Made a chance to go up 14-13. I said it would be good, but not now. Not now. Then when they missed the field goal and they get the ball at the 38 with 2:12 to go, I'm like, man, go strong play action here. Pick up 10 yards on a quick out pattern to Jigba. Now let's run it. Think we're going to pop something before the 2-minute warning. Of course, second down, you get the sack.
Right.
That's it. Punt it away, go to OT. Maybe get a stop. Maybe then go kick the field goal.
No.
But no. So they let the Rams go down and score it. So you get the ball at your 38-yard line above the 2-minute warning, and you can't move the ball. Oh, but now we're down 7, and we can go the length of the field and score and go 2-point conversion. my psychiatrist talked me through it. I was a little suicidal. I wanted to hurt me or hurt something. Maybe go outside with a trash can. I don't know, but anyway, I'm good now. I'm ready to go.
That's a tough beat, man.
But listen, I've had my best college football season in the last 20 years. I'm 14-4 my last 18.
Yeah.
31-18 for the year. I've hit pretty much every big play in the last month. And even though I lean towards Arkansas State, instead of messing around with a near pick'em rivalry game, revenge game on a Thursday night in the NFL, just stay where you got the hot hand. You know what I did? I've hit, and believe me, there's 3 sure things in life. 1, death, 2, taxes, and your boy here's got a jumper. I mean, I got a jumper. My jumper's, for a 62-year-old man, I got a jumper.
Yeah.
And I had a wide open 3 last night. Just knock it down. Just knock it down. Pass it up, drove the lane, charge. Same thing Greg Anthony did. Same thing Greg Anthony did to UNLV. People don't remember it. UNLV's up 5. 3:47 to go against Duke. They're trying to go 39-0, greatest team in college basketball history. Anthony's got 4 fouls. He drives the lane with 3:42 to go. He could pull up with a little bunny jumper, but no. Anthony's got to go all the way to the rack.
I remember that.
Try to draw the foul. They call a charge. He fouls out. Duke comes down. Hurley hits the 3, cuts it to 2, and now they got to go the last 3 minutes without their point guard. And that's how Duke beat him. People don't realize if Greg Anthony just pulls up, even if he misses the jumper, they're still up 5. You still got your point guard. And I will go to my grave, because I was at the game in Indianapolis. I will go to my grave that UNLV beats Duke, repeats, goes 39-0, and goes down in history as one of the greatest teams. But no, Anthony's got to go in the lane, try to draw the charge and be a hero. And, of course, he wasn't going to get the whistle. On all hell broke loose. That was me. I had the open 3, frothing at the mouth. I release it, do the turnaround run back just like Steph Curry, but nope, I had to drive the lane, charging foul, and all hell broke loose. So I'm good, though. I'm good.
I'm glad. See, I'm glad you're taking it well.
Unreal. So anyway, Oklahoma's the right side of the game. I'm not a big DeBauer fan. I'm just not. And if you watch him in big games, Washington, Michigan national championship game, choked. SEC championship game, choked. If you look at their season, Vandy went in there. They're about to take a lead with 11 minutes to go, 21-20, and Pavia throws a pick at the Bama 9. They go to South Carolina. South Carolina's beating them by a touchdown in the 4th quarter. South Carolina can't close. Oklahoma beats them. Auburn had them on the rope. Auburn's about to go down and tie it and force overtime, and they fumble inside 2 minutes. And, of course, Georgia beats the doors off them. So everywhere you look, it's been struggle. And it started with the loss to Florida State.
Yeah.
So here they are. They shouldn't have got in. I'll go to my grave. Stop putting this group of 5 team in because they're in a conference and they deserve to get in. It's the 12 best teams. And the 12 best teams, Notre Dame in, Alabama out, Texas in, Tulane out. Texas goes into Ohio State week 1, first game out of the box, hardest place to play. Arch Manning, first career start. They outgain Ohio State almost 2-1 and lose 14-7.
Yeah.
They then go into their SEC schedule, only lose 2 games. Granted, the loss at Florida was kind of bad, and then at Georgia. What do? They beat pretty convincingly Texas A&M at the end of the year. Texas is left out.
Yeah.
Notre Dame is left out. So with that being said, I don't think Miami should have got in. I don't think Alabama got in. And that leads us to these 4 games. Last year, the home teams in the college football playoff went 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the spread, with an average win margin of 19 points. That's how significant home field advantage was in those 4 games last year. I should know. I rolled with 2 dogs and got my butt handed to me. So I'm going to lean towards Oklahoma tonight. I really like Texas A&M tomorrow night, and I just don't know how. I don't know if you remember this. I'm going to jog your memory for a minute.
Okay.
But Hawaii had June Jones as their coach, and Colt Brennan was their quarterback, and he set all kinds of records. And they qualified for the Sugar Bowl, and they went to the Sugar Bowl, and they played Georgia. And everybody was like, here we go, Hawaii, June Jones, Colt Brennan. Oh, my God, this is going to be great. They deserve to be there. Oh, my God. You're 8 minutes in the game going, oh, my God, Colt Brennan's going to be in a coma, and he may die. They beat that man upside one down and the other. You could see it from the opening kickoff. And I think that's going to be the problem with James Madison. Yeah, it's great. Great story.
Yeah.
You went 12-1. Great joy. You're the lamb being led to the slaughter.
Yeah,
this is 5 white guys walking into South Central Los Angeles to play a pickup game against 5 brothers who are 6'10", 6'9", 6'8", 6'7", 6'7". Game to 11, win by 2, goes 13, 11-1. Next. I think Oregon boat racism.
Yeah, I think that's clear. The idea that they and Tulane are in and Notre Dame,
it's an embarrassment.
Yeah, it really is.
For the whole system.
It really is.
It really is.
Yeah, I agree.
NFL.
Transitioning the NFL to the National Football League.
I have a dog for you.
All right, what do you got?
It's the ugly dog. It's the ugly dog of the day, and it's the Cleveland Browns.
Really?
Listen to this. Listen to the stat. Listen to this stat. Okay. Any NFL home dog with a win percentage of less than 250, game 14 and on. Okay?
Okay.
That won 4 fewer games last season, which is the Cleveland Browns, and facing opponents whose net yardage per game is 0 or less on the road against losing opponents, 27-9 against the spread since 1990. And if that team, Buffalo, is coming off a win, if Cleveland scoring 10 points or less in their previous game, 17-4 against the spread. And if that same opponent, Buffalo, is coming off a win of 6 points or less, 0-11 against the spread.
Are you saying this is a trap game and they're going to lose this thing?
Oh, my God. I'm not saying lose, but they're laying 10.5 on the road. I'm telling you, you watch Cleveland as a sneaky dog.
Takes you doing the boys, huh?
Yep, I love Jacksonville plus 3.5 over Denver. Let me tell you something about my boy Duval, right? Remember when Cohen took the job and got up in the press conference and said, Duval. It was
Duval! Yeah.
Corniest thing you ever saw in your life.
Yeah.
What he's done with Trevor Lawrence is unbelievable. Jacksonville's 10-4, 4 losses.
Nobody saw that coming.
Seattle beat him pretty convincingly 2012. Rams blew the doors off him. Other than that, they had Cincy beat on the road, gave up a touchdown with 28 seconds to go, and they were up 19 at Houston in the fourth quarter and let that slip away. We could easily be talking about a 12-2 football team that's in the driver's seat for the number 1 seed in the AFC. They're getting 3.5 at Denver in the ultimate flat spot. Had Denver as my best bet last Sunday. Jacksonville plus 3.5. Nobody's talking about them, but they are playing some incredible football. Keep an eye on them. I like the Bears Saturday night. I think they get it done over the Green Bay Packers.
That's a huge game. I'm going to a Packer Christmas party Saturday night, as a matter of fact, just to watch that football game.
Yeah,
my best friend played for the Packers. He also played for, you're going to meet him if you really come out here. He also played for Bill Parcells and the Giants.
First of all, I'm offended that I've given you my word that I'm coming to your golf tournament. Okay?
All right.
I'm giving you my word. And secondly, here's a little number for you.
Yeah.
The Packers are 2-11 against the spread when both teams are coming off non-division games.
Yeah.
Okay, against Denver and Chicago against Cleveland. So the numbers certainly support the Chicago Bears.
Okay. I will leave you with this personal question. If the Raiders don't get Mendoza, say the Giants get fewer losses than and they trade it to the Jets and the Jets get Mendoza, I'm making you our general manager. Who would we pick? The kid from Oregon or a left tackle? Who would we pick if we don't get Mendoza?
First of all, you don't want Mendoza.
Really? I do.
Okay.
No?
He's the second coming of Andrew Luck.
And what's wrong with that?
But no,
I'd take Andrew Luck right now. I got Geno Smith.
You're saying that
Hell,
you're saying right now the the Giants would have the #1 pick in the draft?
That's what it's looking like, isn't that, Chris?
As it sits today, but you guys have to play the Giants here in a week as well.
So
Hopefully
you're saying
we
the
lose.
Giants would then trade that pick to the Jets?
That's what
That
I'm
is the
guessing.
rumor.
That's what I'm guessing. Aren't they going with Dart?
Well, they're fine, but
Yeah.
I mean, you'd still go get one of the Ohio State defensive players.
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
I mean, they're not trading the #1 pick. There's no way.
The Giants
they're,
are?
They're the Giants. They'll figure out a way to screw it up. And even if they do get the #1 pick, and the Jets get the #1 pick, then the Jets would probably do the stupid thing and they would take Mendoza. And if that's the case, the Raiders are not going to take the kid from Oregon. They're not going to take. There's not a quarterback in the draft that is worthy. I'll take this to my grave.
I agree.
Mendoza's a product of Indiana's system, but I don't think he's worthy of a top 5 pick. Nor do I think there's not a first round draft pick quarterback in the first round, in my opinion. I just don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see it. And so I think the Raiders, obviously, they need defense. They do.
Yeah, we do.
And because if you have a defense, the offense can catch up.
Right.
You can go out there and get a quarterback better than Geno Smith. The problem with Geno Smith is Pete Carroll made his bed with Geno Smith. And once he did that, he was locked in.
Yeah.
And I guarantee in places you don't talk about at parties, few good men, he regrets it. He regrets it.
Yeah.
Because Geno Smith couldn't hit a semi-truck parked 4 feet in front of him, so it was a different jersey.
Yeah.
And that was the problem all year long. So I don't know. I mean, lots of options, but I would not. Mendoza's not going to fall to the Raiders. And so, and just can be honest with you, I thought picking Genty was a wrong call too.
Really?
Yep, I do.
Yeah.
I don't think he was worthy to be drafted that high. I don't think he's a Derrick Henry.
No,
of course I don't think he's a Jonathan Taylor. And if you're not a Jonathan Taylor and you're not a Derrick Henry, you can't take a guy like that in the first round.
Yeah, you're right.
He's got to be a bona fide game changer. You know it. Boom. Bad pick. And you can see it. You can see it. He doesn't break away anything.
No.
You know?
He runs hard, though.
If Walter Payton ran behind the Dallas Cowboy offensive line that Emmitt Smith ran behind, Walter Payton would have had 100,000 yards.
Yeah, you're
That's
absolutely
something
right.
that offensive line was.
You're absolutely right.
So there you go.
Have a Merry Christmas. This is the last time we'll talk in 2025. Have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I guess the next time we'll talk, we'll be talking NFL playoffs.
That's it.
All right, sir.
To it. Happy health, but love you both.
All right, man. Love you too. Say hello to the wife for us.
You got it.
All right, Pop. Take care. Brandon Lang. Not a lot of time before we get to the bottom of the hour. I've got a decision to make. I might replay our interview with HA Sala at the bottom of the hour. Talking over with my producer, but in the meantime, we'll take a break, come right back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Friday, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180, KERN, where we're streaming live, kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
When your business technology breaks down, you need help fast, and you need it from the people who understand your local market. That's one of the main reasons we've teamed up with Adaptive Networks, because we have a unique business, because when our IT goes down, you hear nothing, dead air, and we're dead. Adaptive Networks isn't some faceless call center in another state. They're right here in our community, with local technicians who know Kern County businesses inside and out. While other IT companies make you wait hours or even days for support, we just can't afford that.
But I'm saying we'll
Adaptive
use a whole half
Networks
hour to
delivers
talk about
lightning fast response times. We're talking minutes, not hours, because when your systems are down, every minute counts. Their team doesn't just fix your problem quickly. They treat you like the neighbor you are. Real people, real solutions, real results. Call Adaptive Networks today, 661-241-0638, or visit adaptive-net.com. Adaptive Networks, your local IT experts, always here when you need them.
And we're back. Another commercial for California Fruit Depot.
Cal Fruit Depot.
First, it needs to be said that a lot of listeners are complaining that you're not pulling your own weight on these commercials.
Wait, this is a 1-minute podcast. I'll lead with that. Now back to you.
If you're wearing a jacket and you're hearing this commercial, come on out to California Fruit Depot. Come on out and see us.
Not Christmas.
Oranges.
It's a jacket special.
Dates, shakes, smoothies, all those things. They're available.
What
Come
else
out.
do
You
you
can
have out
ship them to family and friends all over the country.
Shipping available.
Another thing I like to talk about is getting a jingle.
please.
We need a jingle.
We do need a
all
jingle.
musicians, bands. Hey, if you got AI capabilities, send us an
Yeah,
AI
please.
commercial
Submit it.
for California Fruit Depot. Has to be radio friendly.
California Fruit Depot.
Got your citrus. Got your nuts.
Come get some dates. Come get your dates.
Send your jingle to citrusjinglecontest@gmail.com and come out to California Fruit Depot. Google us for directions, or you can visit us online at calfruitdepot.com.
Hey, I made the commercial.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
10 athletes will face the toughest job interview in fitness that will push past physical and mental breaking points. You are the fittest of the fit. Only one of you will leave here with an iFit contract for $250,000.
This is when mindset comes in.
Someone will be eliminated.
Pressure is coming down.
This is Trainer Game.
Watch it on Prime Video starting January 8th.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I want to thank my man Brandon Lang. We'll talk with him again in 2026. In the meantime, let's read a couple text messages, and we are going to replay our interview with Mr. Sala earlier in the broadcast. If you weren't with us in the first half hour, we talked with HA Sala, Zach Scrivener's attorney, and I didn't get an opportunity to react to the interview because I scheduled it for 3:15 to 3:30, and then we went right into Rick Bentley. We haven't even discussed it, so we're going to re-air it right after this break, and then we'll get into a discussion. What do you all think? Mr. Sala made a very moving argument about the testimony of the forensic pathologists and other physicians who examined Zach Scrivener. But I don't think that's erased the opinion in this feeling. For good or for bad or for fair or for not fair, Zach Scrivener got a pass. Quick timeout. HA Sala's next.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The president of the National Trust for Historic Preservation says she trusts the Trump-appointed chairman of a federal planning commission to do his job and seriously view President Trump's proposal to build a ballroom at the White House. Carol Quillen said Friday that she takes Will Scharf at his word. Scharf recently said the National Capital Planning Commission will conduct a serious and deliberative review of the ballroom plans. The Kennedy Center has added President Trump's name to the memorial that Congress created for John F. Kennedy. Several blue tarps were hung in front of the building early Friday to obscure the work. A few hours later, it had a new name, the Donald J. Trump and John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for the Performing Arts. More details available at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Chris Davis. A sex offender gets his comeuppance. Fernando Moreno, a man police say saved bodily fluid in a small lotion bottle and squirted it on women who were cleaning their cars at the Mr. Car Wash on Mount Vernon Avenue in a couple of incidents last year, will go to prison for a year and a half and have to register for life as a sex offender. If you have packages coming to the house, police are warning about porch piracy and say you could help prevent that or at least help catch the people doing it by installing a Ring camera or surveillance cam on your porch. They also say you could have your packages picked up by a neighbor, sent somewhere else when you're not home, or be held at the post office. Gas in California now $4.28 on average. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Sangera Subaru with an announcement. It's time again for the 2025 Subaru Share the Love event. Buy or lease a new Subaru through January 2nd and a donation of $325 will be made by Subaru to your choice of 4 national charities like Make-A-Wish, Meals on Wheels, the ASPCA, and National Forest Service, or local charities Honor Flight Kern County, Global Family, and the Daughter Project. Right now, at Sangera Subaru, you can lease a 2025 Outback Premium CVT for only $239 per month for 36 months and $4,800 due at signing. You get a new car plus donate to charity. It's an absolute win-win. Don't miss the Subaru Share the Love event going on now at Sangera Subaru in the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
Through January 2nd, 2026. Lease the 2025 Outback Premium CVT model code SDD-11 for only $239 a month on a 36-month lease. $4,800 due at lease signing plus tax and license. 0 security deposit. 10,000 mile year limit. 15 cent per mile overage. MSRP $36,506. VIN number S3331256.
Panic shopping? Stop. The clock is ticking. Give the perfect golf gift in seconds. The Central Coast Golf Cart. Huge savings on California's best courses in an instant. Last minute, maximum value, no shipping. Get it now at centralcoastgolfcart.com.
Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, we will have, the last hot list before Christmas. We will have learned the fate of Zach Scribner. We'll see how that panned out, as if we didn't already know. We will have news, traffic, weather, sports, but in 6 to 9 right here at News Talk 96.1 and streaming live on the internet at kernradio.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
In the first half hour of the program, wow, the game is 36 minutes away. I didn't know that. God dang it.
Starts at 5.
I'm going to miss the whole first quarter. Well, I guess I won't.
No, I was
It's
gonna say, no,
on
you're
TV. In the first half hour of the program, we had HA Sala, local defense attorney and overall good egg, and the defense attorney, obviously, for Zach Scribner. And I don't know what I was thinking in booking him and buttressing that up against our entertainment reporter. Didn't give me an opportunity to comment on what Mr. Sala said, and didn't give you an opportunity to call in or comment. I saw at least one comment in the chat room, and I'm sure there are some text messages, but I figured we'd play it again, and then I'd have at least 15 minutes before the 5 o'clock hour to give you my opinion. Here is our discussion with a really good man and one of the best attorneys in this town, HA Sala. Let's start simply. What happened this morning?
All right. We had filed a petition under the statute for mental health diversion that has a number of requirements that have to be met, and that includes qualifying offenses. We filed extensive briefs on that. The Attorney General filed very voluminous brief as well opposing the motion. The court then heard arguments from both sides after those arguments were presented, which cited not only the statute, but also a myriad of appellate court cases preferring mental health diversion over, say, incarceration. And the court then applied all the applicable factors and granted diversion for Mr. Scribner.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but much of this was based on the analysis of one physician. Is that correct?
Of a mental health professional, a forensic psychologist. That's correct.
Who selected?
And let me clarify that. But that was also based on numerous other mental health providers that had treated Mr. Scribner not only before this incident in April 2024, but after. and they reached the same diagnosis that the forensic psychologist rendered as well. So it wasn't just the expert that we called, but quite a number of other psychiatrists and psychologists as well.
Who selected the forensic psychologist? Was that you?
One
Was
and
that
a
the
half?
judge?
No, that was me.
And why? And I know you don't want to speak for the AG's office, but why would they not submit their own psychologist? Why would they insist? Let us put our own. Yes, absolutely.
You want my opinion?
Absolutely.
Because I don't think they could find a
110 to
psychologist,
100 on,
psychiatrist that
Oklahoma?
would rebut the expert we presented, because we were absolutely
Oklahoma's a
dead
favorite,
on
right?
as far as
So it's
the
110 to 100.
diagnosis for several mental health disorders. It's just something that could not be rebutted effectively or at all. So that's why I believe they didn't present one. They couldn't find one that would render an opinion to contradict our expert.
When did the initial mental health analysis begin on Mr. Scrivener?
Were found in the residence at the time the deputies
I
arrived.
clicked it off on the computer.
These were
Just turn off my
medications
mic?
that were prescribed to treat
Okay.
major depression and anxiety, and it was confirmed that these were valid, legitimate prescriptions by the Attorney General's office.
Local defense attorney HA Sala is our guest. Now that this is all but over, can you walk us through what happened that infamous day up in Tehachapi?
I can't, because those reports have been ordered sealed by the court.
Do you still dispute what Sheriff Donnie Youngblood initially told us, that there was sexual contact between Mr. Scrivener and one of his children?
Absolutely. I do not believe, and when you're talking about sexual contact, there is sexual contact in terms of what is commonly referred to as sexual molestation, but that requires a specific intent that could not be proved in this case. And that is why I've to that extent, I disagree with the sheriff that there was a charge of so-called child molestation, because that requires a specific intent that was not present and could not be proved. And I said that from day one, that these allegations could not be proved. And today, the Attorney General in his opposition conceded that he could not prove that allegation, because if he could, then obviously diversion would not have been granted.
So there was contact, but not sexual molestation. Does that mean that the description that Mr. Scrivener was in bed with his daughter is accurate?
Well, we can't get into that, because again, those are contained in reports, and there were allegations that would have been very aggressively, very vigorously litigated if this had gone to trial. Obviously, we didn't get that far, but these were allegations that we totally disagreed with. Mr. Scrivener was suffering from a major mental health disorder at that time. There's no doubt about that, and that is why, in my opinion, there wasn't any mental health expert presented by the Attorney General's office.
Yeah. What drugs was he on the day of the incident?
The prescription medications that he had been prescribed for.
There were reports of coke, benzomental.
Well, you said under the influence. He was not under the influence of cocaine.
Had he taken cocaine?
I don't know.
Okay. Why did he quit his job? And has he, since the incident, done anything to support his family, his children, his estranged wife?
Well, he has tried, but obviously he didn't have a job due to the mental health disorder that he was suffering from. And he felt it was best for his constituents to resign the position. He's been obviously looking for a job, but it's very difficult given this environment that he has been, in my opinion, falsely accused of so-called sexual molestation. It's just virtually impossible for him to seek gainful employment. The vitriolic attacks that he has been subjected to has very much prevented him from doing that. And much of this is because folks do not understand the mental disorders he was suffering from, the treatment he was going through. Because I'll tell you one thing, if that were not credible and could not have been proved, the judge would have denied the motion.
Yeah. You may have answered my next question, but I'll ask it nevertheless. You are one of the power players in this community. I think it's safe to say you have a pulse you have a finger on the pulse of this community. You have to know that an overwhelming majority of this community feels like your client got a massive pass when KGET, and I'm sure they will, does their poll, and polls don't mean a thing, but it's going to be overwhelming, if not 80-20, 90-10, that your guy got a pass. What would you say to the community?
That's unfair. One, they're not aware of all the circumstances and facts in this case. I can tell you that the reports that were generated in this case were approximately 500 pages. And so there was a tremendous volume of reports, a tremendous amount of work regarding the mental health evaluation. So it's fundamentally unfair for people to reach conclusions. One, when they're unaware of the circumstances. Two, they're not lawyers in many instances and not familiar with the legislature's very strong preference for mental health treatment. The legislature has spoken out that mental health treatment is preferable for someone that is suffering from a diagnosed disorder that contributed to the offenses. They have spoken loud and clear when they enacted that statute back in 2018. And also that statute has been interpreted by many courts throughout the state, many courts who have adopted the legislative intent and have overruled trial courts who have denied mental health diversion motions because of the legislative preference and all the circumstances relating to mental health. Okay. So how can someone reach a conclusion and say he got a pass when they're not familiar with everything I just said? It's just fundamentally wrong and unfair.
Okay. I'll leave you with this. My producer's head's about to explode. I'm running out of time.
Yeah.
What is his mental status today?
Well, he's still undergoing treatment, and he will, in fact, comply with all the conditions of mental health treatment that the judge ordered this morning.
And what's the next step? And that's when we'll find out if there's a complete dismissal?
Yes, so he has a compliance hearing in late January. The mental health providers have to provide reports to the court, and then there will be subsequent hearings to determine his progress. Ultimately, when the court is satisfied that he has complied with mental health treatment, which could last as long as 2 years, then the charges will be dismissed.
Completely goes away, and it's as if it never happened. Correct?
It gets dismissed, correct.
Very good. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you taking the time, and have a very Merry Christmas.
Sure. Same to you and your family, Ralph.
Thank you. Take care. HA Sala. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. I'll give you my thoughts on this case when we come back.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, we will have, the last hot list before Christmas. We will have learned the fate of Zach Scribner. We'll see how that panned out, as if we didn't already know. We will have news, traffic, weather, sports, but in 6 to 9 right here at News Talk 96.1 and streaming live on the internet at kernradio.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Attention, Medicare beneficiaries here in Kern County. If you are eligible for Medicare and looking for a doctor who listens and cares about you with minimal wait times and prompt referral authorizations, it's time you learned about QualCare IPA. QualCare IPA contracts with most Medicare Advantage health plans and provides you with access to a large network of outstanding doctors and quality hospitals right here in Kern County. Medicare Advantage health plans go beyond original Medicare benefits coverage, and understanding these coverage differences may be confusing. Call us today at 661-554-4544 and let us help you understand your healthcare options for 2025. Call today, 661-554-4544. That's 661-554-4544. Get the information you need and the coverage you deserve. For accommodations of persons with special needs at meetings, call 661-554-4544, TTY 711.
It's hard to believe the holidays are already upon us. There's so much to do. Buying gifts, decorating the tree, holiday parties, kids' activities. Oof! So the last thing you want to do is cook. Let Caesar's Deli do the cooking for you and your guests. Start with some stuffed mushrooms and then move on to the melt-in-your-mouth meatballs or their awesome deviled eggs. From there, the main course where your guests are going to love beef or cheese raviolis, lasagna and spaghetti made with Nona's old Italian recipe, or how about garlic chicken or deep pit beef served with fresh Pyrenees rolls. And don't forget the ranch-style potatoes. Yes, Caesar's has your holiday party food covered. From Italian meat and cheese platters to salads and all the pasta dishes you can think of. No need to stress this joyous season. Let Caesar's Deli cater your holiday dinner straight to your door. Caesar's Deli at the corner of Brimhall and Callaway, next to the beautiful water fountain. A Bakersfield holiday tradition since 1971.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Joe?
I started a woodworking business. I was able to build beautiful furniture, but had no handle on the business side of things, so quickly fell behind in my taxes. 1 year of being behind in taxes quickly turned into 5 years. I ended up owing almost $37,000.
Then Joe found Tax Relief Advocates.
I would hear ads for tax relief advocates. One day it just clicked. This is my exact situation that I'm in. So I wrote down the number and called from the car when I got home that day. TRA saved me 99% of what I owed the IRS, and that brought a huge sense of relief.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Joe did and called TRA for a consultation.
I'm really happy that I made that call, and I finally felt like I could breathe again.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-484-4743. 800-484-4743. That's 800-484-4743.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
The Charlie Kirk Show, weekdays at 6 p.m. on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
All right, let me try to take this piece by piece in terms of Zach Scribner and justice and some of the things that Mr. Sala said. I think the main thing that I walk away from this whole case thinking is that Mr. Sala, being the incredible attorney that he is, has created a new lane. Because I'll tell you something, if my 06 DUI offense had occurred after this situation, I would have suggested to my attorney that I was extremely depressed, that I was going through an alcoholic phase in my life. I had recently broken up with a girlfriend in 06.
Like I said, you could argue that I was an alcoholic. It was a Tuesday night, and high school friends from Los Angeles called me at 10:30 on a work night, and I got up off my couch at 10:30 on a work night and went downtown and closed a bar at 1:30 on a Tuesday night. And I went through the humiliation of it being on the internet before I even got out of jail. I wasn't even allowed to tell my mother because a family friend here in Bakersfield read about it on the internet that morning. Their first call was to my mother. When I got out of jail at noon, my mother had already known about it. It was in the internet, and that following Wednesday, it was on the front page of the local newspaper. I thought my career was over, and if not over, certainly damaged. I was humiliated, and for years, literally years, I was either considered or called the Otis of Kern County. It was the single most humiliating thing I ever went through. And you want to talk about depression? That Wednesday, the day that I got out of jail, at the time I was doing an editorial for Channel 23 3 days a week. And the then general manager demanded that I come in on that Wednesday night and answer questions about my arrest. My general manager at my radio station made me go on Jazz McKay's show and answer questions from in my opinion, a bigoted man that wouldn't spit on me if I was on fire. My point in all of this is not to get any sympathy. It happened 20 years ago. So far in my rearview mirror, but my point is, after this lane Mr. Sala has created, where someone seemingly has got life by the tail, to be honest, comes from a family of money, has money, a beautiful wife, a six-figure job, a political career. Was his depression any worse than mine? And all I'm saying is, this may have created a new lane for folks that are involved in minor crimes or crimes involving your children. Again, I completely blew this afternoon in this booking because I should have allowed more time. I had 11 minutes, and there were questions that I just didn't have time to get to. I think the best posed by Mr. Flores, which was, if he was in such bad mental shape, why did the Scrivener family, because the grandparents were available because they came to the house that day following the incident, why was this mentally disturbed man on coke, waving a gun around his children, allowed to be with his children alone if his mental state was such? And let's say that Mr. Scrivener is right, Mr. Sala is right, he was suffering from mental issues. That does not excuse, and let's take away the getting in bed with his own child. Let's remove that from the equation. You're telling me that when my nephew comes up here next weekend to visit me, if I get drunk as a skunk and start waving around my Michael Jordan, my Glock 23, and acting a fool, and my nephew calls BPD, they're not going to put me in cuffs? The other question I didn't get to answer, how come Mrs. Scrivener's response to her own son's mental health issues changed? Why on the day of the incident, Mrs. Scrivener said, Zach has no mental issues, and then later said, well, he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? I don't know if Mr. Scrivener is mentally ill, was mentally ill. Depression? Welcome to America in the 21st century. Any of you not suffered from depression? What is one of the themes of this show? You may not agree with me, but this is what I believe. Life sucks. Life is hard. Life is difficult. Life will kick you in the teeth and keep on stepping. Go ask a NASCAR family how fair life is. Go ask the Reiner children how fair life is and how depression impacts one's life. But if depression and anxiety can excuse you from criminal activity, good God Almighty, where are we headed in 2026? Because guess what? I don't know if you've heard this on the show or not. I've said it maybe once, maybe twice, but we are in a mental health pandemic. I don't know too many people that don't have some sort of mental health issue. How many friends of yours are seeing psychiatrists? How many friends of yours are in therapy? How many friends of yours have called you and said, I can't shake this depression? If that's the bar for criminality, I'm on coke, I'm drinking a lot, I'm mentally depressed, good God Almighty, we won't convict anybody. Judge will be handing out mental diversions to every criminal that steps up to the courtroom. And the fact that the man hasn't sent a nickel to his family, to his children, to his estranged wife. I don't give a damn if he's got a job. The man comes from money. You think the Zach Scrivener's broke? Who's paying for those classes at Cal State? Who paid for HA Sala? Who's probably about $1,500 a phone call. And I'm probably underestimating him. He's probably listening like, you haven't seen my rates, Rob. What you talking about? I'm just glad it's behind us. As I said at the top of the show, this thing has stunk from high heaven from the minute Cynthia Zimmer, our top cop, irresponsibly picked up her cell phone and called our sheriff on his cell phone, absolutely circumventing the Tehachapi Police Department. But it is what it is, and we've all known what was going to happen. We head into the final hour of the week. It's TRBS.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1
Finally,
Bakersfield.
and the AC on.
KERNradio.com.
Oh, yeah.
News this hour from Town Hall by
Live
the
from Malaysia.
Theaters in Washington. The United States has launched a military operation in Syria against ISIS fighters. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
The military action follows the deaths of 3 U.S. citizens in an ambush attack almost a week ago. Announcing the operation, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said, "This is not the beginning of a war.
I thought it was
is a
too.
declaration of vengeance." One U.S. official described it as a large-scale strike that targeted multiple locations. Syria, Clugston, Washington.
President Trump has announced that 9 drug makers to lower the cost of their prescription drugs in the U.S.
This is the best thing ever to happen on drug pricing and on healthcare.
President Trump with a major announcement from the White House.
The companies assembled in this room have agreed to offer all of their drugs to Medicaid and most favored nations pricing.
And the president says that means that the 9 companies involved will charge Americans the cheapest prices for drugs.
That's correspondent Bob Agnew reporting. The Justice Department has started releasing its files on Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted sex offender known for his connections to powerful figures. But it acknowledged that its documents disclose new information is included in the photos, call logs, grand jury testimony, and interview transcripts, or how much, if any, additional insight might be gleaned. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 183 The S&P advanced 59. These stories at townhall.com.
Charlie had a heart for the persecuted church. He wanted every believer to
I
live
put a honey on him.
firm when following Jesus costs.
Right.
The Voice of the Martyrs is offering you a free copy of a powerful daily devotional called Extreme Devotion. Inside are true stories of Christians in places like China, Iran, and Nigeria who refuse to deny Christ in prison, torture, or worse. Charlie admired that kind of courage. He believed their stories could strengthen your faith and remind all of us that the gospel is worth it no matter the cost. So let's carry that same bold faith forward. Request your free copy of Devotion today at vom.org/Charlie. Again, that's vom.org/Charlie, or click the link in the show notes. Be inspired, stay firm, and live with courage.
They show me Panay.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
The wreck out on Highway
sir.
99.
Show
I'm
me
Chris Davis.
Panay,
This is what happened last night that
Malaysia.
had lanes of the highway shut down near White Lane. Police say witnesses told them around 6:25 p.m. someone was jumping in and out of traffic. Well, that person eventually ended up being hit and killed. It is still not clear why that person was doing that. The person's name has not yet been made public, and the coroner's office says they will do that later. Why a man from Bakersfield who was keeping bodily fluid in a bottle will go to prison. And if you have kids in the car, this one may be inappropriate for young ears. Okay. The man's name is Fernando Moreno, and he's been sentenced to serve a year and a half, and he'll have to register as a sex offender for life for squirting semen on at least 2 women who were cleaning their cars at the Mr. Car Wash on Mount Vernon Avenue. One incident happened May 31st last year, and police were able to find the guy because the victim was able to get the info on his car and pick him out of a lineup. If you live in McFarland and you get a text that says you should take a survey about issues happening in the city, and that comes with a link, police are saying you probably don't want to tap on that unless you want your personal info getting into the hands of crooks. They say that one is a phishing scam, the kind with a PH, and that the city is not inviting people to take that kind of survey right now. Also, porch piracy is more prevalent during the holidays, and police are warning that you should take some precautions to keep people from stealing those hard-earned Christmas gifts. One way is to have surveillance cameras or a Ring doorbell so you can see who is on your porch. Another is to just have the packages sent somewhere else when you're not going to be home, like work, or keep them at the post office. Or you could have a neighbor pick them up. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
She likes it.
What do you think, this is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get up close like this. Little bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the week, final Friday in the year 2025 for me. We've got a short week next week. I'll be working Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all the way up till Christmas Day, and then we have Christmas Day off. We are here Friday, but that's when my little deserved but much needed vacation begins. Rick Bentley, our entertainment reporter from KGT, will be filling in on Friday. Kathy Abernathy will be here on Monday. Judge Teresa Golder will be here on Tuesday. Owner-operator KC Steakhouse, Cassie Biddle, will be here Wednesday. We're off on New Year's Day, but we're back on the 2nd, which is a Friday, and Rick Bentley, will host again. And then I'm back on Monday, January the 5th. In the meantime, the PNC, one of the real, I'm telling you, it ranks about 4th or 5th on my meter of tournaments. It's Masters, U.S. Open, and then the British Open. I think I prefer the PNC than the PGA Championship, to be honest with you. I really do. It's a lot of fun. And joining us live from Penang, Malaysia, our good friend. Did I mispronounce it? Nick Ragon. Did I mispronounce the city?
No, you got it correct. It's Penang. Hey, by the way, a little tangent, but do you know that you don't remember? Maybe you do. I subbed for you once about 20 years ago. It was like 2009 or 10 when I was still in New York, and I subbed for you. I did that at a studio on Wall Street, and I remember I had some great guests. I had Joe Theismann as a guest.
Really?
I had a reporter from Fortune magazine. I had Ali Velshi, who was.
I do remember that. I remember your CNN pal. I do remember that.
Yeah, and I had like 5 or 6 other really good guests. I forget who. Bethany McLean, I think, from maybe Fortune.
Wow.
But anyway, so I subbed for you once. I mean, maybe you want to put me in the rota in the future.
It's so funny. Brandon Lang said the very same thing. We could do that. We could do it via the phone.
I mean, if I recall, I was pretty good at it, I think.
I'm sure you were.
I don't know.
We can get you in the rotation. I'm not taking any time.
I mean, why don't you ask your listeners? Do a little informal poll. I mean, how bad could I be?
We did, but we didn't throw you in the nominating process.
I mean, you should have.
You're absolutely right. I didn't realize you had 3 hours because it'd be 6 to 9 your time.
Yeah, it works out well though. It's after work. It's,
true.
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just chumming the water that I actually did it before. So at one point, you thought I was good enough to.
Well, it's not a matter. Oh, come on, man! It's not a matter of whether you're capable or not. I to be honest with you, the same thing with Brandon. I never thought of doing somebody not in town. That's
I get it.
That's only the issue. Not about a capable. Yeah, I'd love to have you do it. That'd be great. My next day off will probably be not till April the 15th when I take my annual sojourn to Dodger Stadium for Jackie Robinson Day. Other than that, I don't think I'm taking.
So you really plan out your calendar. It's right around Masters time.
Yeah, it's April 15th. Yeah, I do. Is the PNC as much fun for you as it is for me?
I mean, not without Tiger. If Tiger was in the field, yes. I don't put it ahead of the PGA. I think that's crazy. But yes, it's absolutely. I put it ahead of most tour events, but without Tiger, it's a totally different event. Now I don't want to say care less, but I could kind of care less. I mean, you see the same guys every year. I mean, Trevino's still out there, Jack's still out there. I think, you got a couple of new guys come in every year. Gary Woodland's new this year, but it's the same cast of characters. And look, the big thing for me was Charlie Woods. Like that, I want to see him because I think he's a star in the making. Like I think even if his last name wasn't Woods, his swing is amazing. He's playing really good golf. Remember, he's a junior in high school. He had a great summer. He had a win, a HAGA win. He had I think a top 15 at the North South Amateur, which is a great event. So like, I was really looking forward to just seeing every year you mark the progress plus a chance to see Tiger. And so to me, it's not the same event without those two.
Yeah. What is the latest? I heard he's hitting balls. What's the latest with Tiger?
I think he's hitting balls. I tread carefully here because I have some information based on being a Champions Tour director.
Yes, because he turns 50.
Classic.
He turns 50 in a couple of weeks.
In a couple of weeks. And I will say there's a lot of anticipation and guessing as to whether or not he'll play at all. I think this is just me speculating. I have no inside knowledge, but I think if he's healthy, he is going to play, a couple of majors. I don't know that I'll play all of them, by the way. I don't think he could play the Open anymore. U.S. Open, but I think he'll play a couple majors if healthy, and I think he will attempt to play a few Champion Tour events because you get a cart. It's 3 days. It's a lot easier, and I think at some point he's going to realize he can't compete on the big tour, but he's still Tiger Woods, and he has to have a creative outlet, and I do think he'll play 6 to 8 events a year, maybe a few more, maybe a few less, but at this point, his body is so riddled with injury that you can't predict anymore. He had his 9th, I think, microdiscectomy back in September, where I think he actually got the discs replaced or removed and replaced or something. But at this point, he's got so many bionic parts in him. I just don't know that he might, if he didn't play ever again, I wouldn't be surprised.
He's had more surgeries than most long career NFL football players. And I don't think the people know how many, like Travis Kelce. I don't think people realize he's had 10 surgeries. in his career. 10. This guy, Tiger's had 9 back surgeries. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Tiger's had a couple of knees, ACL. He had the whole broken leg. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So
the accident.
I've stopped guessing. Yeah, accident. I stopped guessing as to like what his schedule is going to look like. I mean, remember this time last year, he was very optimistic. I think he played the Hero and then the PNC, and he said, "Look, I'm going to play an event a month." And everybody's like, "Oh my God, Tiger's back!" And then he immediately gets injured. And so I don't, if I had a bet, I would say, it's more likely than not he's going to play a couple of events a year, body withstanding, and you just don't get the type of reps, at least on the big tour, to be competitive. Now, can he win on the Champions Tour without reps? 100%. Like he could still beat those guys in his sleep if he's just healthy.
Right.
But on the big tour, is this guy going to beat Scotty Scheffler? I mean, I don't know that if Jack came back, if let's say 1967 Jack came back, he and Scotty would have good matches. Like, Scotty's won 4 PGA Players of the Year in a row. Only Tiger's done that.
Yeah.
PGA Tour Player of the Year awards. He's now he's not on a heater. This is 4 years in a row where he's been dominant. It's now getting into, I don't want to say Tiger-esque, but he's getting into the conversation of, top 10 players of all time. I mean, he has 4 majors now. He has 21 tour wins. He's still not 30, I don't think, right? He's not 30?
No, I don't think so. I think he's about to turn 30.
Maybe 28. So he's now putting up historic numbers. Like if he never played again tomorrow, I think he's top 13 or 14 players of all time. I think Phil is 10 or 11. I think Watson, Trevino, Gary Player, Hogan, Steve, Nelson, Tiger, Jack. You could go through the list. But he's in that conversation now. And if he stays on this trajectory, then he's in the all-time conversation. I think it's a matter of time before he wins the career Grand Slam. I think he will do that eventually.
What does he need? The U.S. Open?
He needs the U.S. Open.
Yeah. And if you look at his stats,
he has a game for the U.S. Open.
Oh, absolutely. And if you look at his stats, if you go down that rabbit hole and just examine some of his stats even surpass Tiger. Like one of the stats is his consistency. Like Tiger would normally, even at the Masters, get off to a slow start. There was the famous first victory where he shot a 40 on the front, shot a 30 on the back, really average 70, but a miraculous 70. But I saw a stat where Scheffler is, shooting 60s all 4 days, like in several tournaments.
I think he had a stretch last year where he had 14 events in a row. I want to say where he top 5.
Yeah, he's shooting.
Tiger's never done that. Tiger, even in his heyday, he would throw in an occasional clunker. He didn't make cuts, but he'd throw in a 33rd. But Scotty, he was on a run for a while where he wasn't outside the top 5. I mean, his consistency, his peak at Tiger's peak isn't as high. Like Tiger obviously had 9-win season, I think 8, 9, and 10
2000, 2001.
Peak,
nobody's going to surpass that.
99 to 2001, nobody touching it. But if you look at even at Tiger's peak in those years, Scotty right now is still actually more consistent in the sense that like his peak right now, Tiger's peak is still higher, but Scotty's been as consistent as, really, I mean, Jack is the most amazing. I think there's 40 majors in the 1970s. Jack top 10 in 35 of them.
Wow. That's amazing.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah, that is amazing.
There's 40 majors in a decade. He top 10, 35 of them.
Yeah. Are you in contact with Tiger's people to get him to play perhaps? Maybe not this year, 26,
I don't want to comment
maybe
on that, but we are, I think all tournament directors are doing what they can to put in a good word for their event.
Of course.
The best thing I've heard is Tiger keeps Tiger's schedule. Like Tiger's going to do, Tiger's going to do. All you could do is kind of give them the information about what it would be like. And, certainly, we look, I will tell you this, any event that Tiger plays on the Champions Tour will immediately eclipse the opposite field PGA Tour event, which I think the Tour is actually a little bit worried about. If I was the Tour, I'd be worried about it. If you saw this week, there's a lot of talk at the PNC about the Tour with their new commissioner greatly reducing their schedule and narrowing the aperture of who plays in it. They're really going to kind of an elite tour where there's fewer events, smaller field, because I think the goal is they want you to see the same players over and over again so they develop more stars, right?
Right.
Versus having And there's some people that like that, and there's some people on the tour that hate that. If you look at the veterans like O'Mara and Tom Lehman, Freddie, they were commenting that like they grew up in an era where, you know, you had 125 exempt and you had a lot of events and you wanted to get people in there. Now it's a different era where they're trying to, you know, reduce everything so that you see the same 30 or 40 guys and then they're playing fewer events, but when they're on, you're watching it. I don't know how I feel about it. Part of me,
you can't do that artificially. You just can't. There's no way.
Yeah, you can't.
Stars are stars. No. Yeah, you can limit the field. You can do whatever you want. But stars are stars. And special people are special people. And you can't artificially create that because that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
I don't mind. I don't mind shorting the number of events. I don't mind that. I think
they were talking about like going from about 40 to like 25. It was pretty radical.
Wow.
I mean, that's not written in the stars yet, but like they're not talking about eliminating one or two. They're talking about like a pretty dramatic. I mean, those are Tiger himself said there's a lot of plans right now floating around, so there's no definitive. But you know, they reduced the number of exempt players, and again, that doesn't affect me or you because we just watch what we watch. But like, you know, for all the competitive golfers out there, you know, there's fewer ways to get into the tour, and there's fewer ways to get into signature events, and it's just a different tour, and it's a response to Live and all that money, and Live's clearly not going away.
No.
I mean, I don't think any deal's going to happen. I mean, they're going to 4 days a week, which means, 4 rounds of tournament, which means they're going to get world ranking points, which means there's not going to be a deal likely, and so we're going to live in this bifurcated world.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It really is. We've had a huge story break here today, so the show's been manipulated by that, and there are a lot of stories that I wanted to get to that I don't have time to, but I can do so by asking you a couple of questions. You want to pass on them, feel free. Kristen Cabot, as I told my audience, you probably don't remember her name, but I bet you know who she was. She is the woman who got caught on a kiss cam at a Coldplay concert.
Oh, yeah,
and it's blown up her life. And she's finally sat down and talked to the New York Times. And she said, I made a bad decision and I had a couple of high noons and danced and acted inappropriately with my boss. I took accountability and I gave up my career for that, which I disagreed with. She got whacked is what happened. And that's the price I chose to pay. She claims her life is ruined. Her kids are embarrassed to be seen with her, and she's absolutely unemployable. Is this fair? A woman had an affair, and America wants to judge this woman? Hell, if you took all the people that had affairs and ended their careers, unemployment would be at 40, 50%. Is this, I mean,
it's not a question of fairness, Ralph. I just think that's the way society is. I mean, I'm not one to say if it's fair or unfair. I mean, you know, clearly this is the world we live in now, and I don't really have an opinion one way or the other, except that, like, you know, I think she's obviously ready to talk about her experience because it's, you know, the gentleman involved, he was talking immediately, and I think, you know, and nobody heard her side of the story, so I'm glad she's taking the time to do that. Like, she should feel empowered to tell her side.
Yeah, that's my question. You used to be in PR. Why did she not say these things immediately? Why does she wait 4 months to get this off her chest?
I think it's difficult. I mean, you have to go through it. I mean, you're dealing with emotional turmoil, and I think you have to process it. I think sometimes the better counsel is not to say anything until you can properly process it and put it in context. And, you know, he spoke immediately. He, you know, frankly, didn't say a lot of smart things, I didn't think, and probably made the situation worse. But I think it's, you know, I certainly feel for her. It's difficult.
Yeah, I never thought I would feel sorry for this woman until I read this New York Times story. When she said that her kids are embarrassed to go out in public with her, I was like, come on now. She's paid her price. Let it go. We are a weird, weird country. We really are. That thing
the human species is a weird species.
Yeah, it is. It got 150 million views. That one little deal.
Easily. I mean, for like 24 hours, it was every meme. I mean, you know, that's what the social media does, is it intensifies everything. 25 years ago, this wouldn't have been a blip on anybody's radar.
No.
Social media now, it puts the most terrifying, most powerful, terrifying magnifying glass on everything, every pimple, every wart on our face, and with an intensity that, burns like the sun and exposes it for all to see. And but for the grace of God, who wants that?
I don't think I would be sitting here if we had cell phones throughout my high school, collegiate, and 20s and 30s. All the errors that I made.
You were a choir boy, Ralph.
I was a choir boy in high school, but then I lost my mind in college. I was a fool in my 20s. I started to settle down in my 30s, and that's when we met. But if you could chronicle a lot of the errors that I've made in my life, good googly moogly.
Yeah, I don't want to chronicle them, but did we meet when you were in your 30s? It's been 20. I'm trying to get 20.
Yeah, it was around I was in my late 30s. Late 30s when we met.
04, 05.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, late 30s. Yeah.
I knew you when you're young and talented.
Yes, you did. And I was a 13 handicap kid, did 250-yard drives, as a matter of fact.
Oh, my God. That was a long time
That was a long time ago, Jack. I'll leave you with this. Tell us about Malaysia.
It's beautiful here. My wife is from here, so we're visiting her family, and it's 80 degrees out and sunny right now as I look out. Probably not unlike L.A.
Yes, I'm headed there next week, but here in Bakersfield, it's been really, really cold in the low 50s, high 40s.
I didn't realize it gets cold in Bakersfield.
Yes.
I didn't know that, though.
Yes. We have.
But it gets really hot in the summer. Isn't it over 100?
Yes. It's either hot or it's cold. We've got 2 months of spring when it's gorgeous, and that's about it.
Right.
That's about it.
You know what? I watched a movie on the plane flight over, which is one of the longest on the planet. I think it's called Into the Wild, and it reminded me of you because some of it takes place in that kind of California desert area, but it's a true story. It was written by that guy Krakauer who did the Mount Everest book, but it's about a kid who sort of dropped out of society, went to college at Emory, and then dropped out and sort of just lived this itinerant hippie lifestyle, and he migrated his way up to Alaska, and then he eventually died. He starved in the bush, but a lot of it takes place in kind of, I don't want to say Bakersfield, but in the California desert area, and just sort of help you. And it was a great. I think Sean Penn directed it. A bunch of good actors were in it, but
I was going to say, what part reminds you of me? Although I have been on the Emory campus.
Bakersfield. It was that part I forgot, but it was a lot of when I was out in California, it reminded me of that Bakersfield area,
Central Valley. Sort of, we are
the Central Valley area.
We are
a lot of it was in the Central Valley.
Yeah, I have been on the Emory University campus, and I dated a girl that went to Emory when I was at Morehouse.
Wow,
sure did. All right, so how long are you in Malaysia for the whole holidays?
Yeah, we're here till I think January 1st or 2nd, and then we fly back. So it's been good. It's been a nice respite. We come out here every 2 years. We bought an apartment out here, so it's a little bit easier. We move into that next year.
Outstanding.
Yeah, so it's good. It's it's the longest flight on the planet is from JFK to Singapore, 18 hours and 44 minutes.
Woo! Wow, that's tough.
If you were wondering.
How much sleep did you get?
I slept a lot, actually. I slept great this time. Usually I don't, but it takes a good 4 or 5 days to get your body adjusted because it's exactly 13 hours behind Eastern time, so it really screws with you.
I can imagine. We'll say hello to your lovely wife and the kids. Have a wonderful Christmas, a Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you in 2026.
Go Eagles.
Yes, sir. Always good to talk to you, man. Thank you.
All right.
Take care. Brandon Lang. Not a lot of time till we get to the bottom.
Nick Ragone. Good Lord, where are we?
I'm not here, Jack. I got 9.5 hours of work left before I'm on vacation. So look for many of those Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Stay on your toes because I won't be on mine. I'll have 1 foot on the 405 and 1 foot in the studio. Quick timeout. We're coming right back. It's TRBS. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Meet Paul Sheldon's client, Norma Diaz, owner of La Rosa Fruit Bars and Ice Cream.
Hi, I'm Norma Diaz from La Rosa Fruit Bars and Ice Cream, and I'm a client and friend of Paul Sheldon. I've known Paul for many, many years, and my parents happened to be his first clients. So, of course, I called Paul and immediately felt this peace come over me, knowing that I didn't have to freak out about making a big decision. His knowledge about Medicare and your health insurance needs are beyond compare, and I was taken care of immediately by his wonderful staff. He knew everything that I needed and what I wouldn't need, so I was pretty much in and out of there in record time. If you're getting to that age or you're going to be needing to know about Medicare, then he's the one to call. He will totally help you out and get you pointed in the right direction. You're going to leave there feeling a great accomplishment and no concerns. And even if you have questions later, his staff can help you out. Those feelings are just priceless to me. So call Paul. You'll be glad you did.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298. Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-399-7272. 800-399-7272. Again, that's 800-399-7272.
The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
So hop aboard the turntable.
Boy, that'd be tough. 5 hours to Washington or Atlanta is hard enough for me. But 18 hours on a plane? Now, granted, Mr. Ragone, I'm almost certain I'd be willing to bet all $89 in my checking account that they're going first class and they're probably laying down in those little incubators that they have in first class for long trips, but still, 18. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to sleep for 18 hours, let alone be stuck in a tube going 600 miles an hour. Good. Google it, move it. When we come back, we'll check the board and see what you all are saying about our interview with HA Sala, your feelings on the inevitable mental diversion that was provided to Zach Scrivener today. That's all coming up. I would stick around if I you.
News
You want
Talk
some apple slices?
96.1 and AM 1180
Throw them away.
KERN.
Throw them away.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The Trump administration has launched military strikes in Syria to eliminate Islamic State group fighters and weapons sites in retaliation for the ambush attack that killed 2 U.S. troops and an American interpreter almost a week ago. A U.S. official describes it as a large-scale strike that hit 70 targets in areas across central Syria. European Union leaders have agreed to provide a massive interest-free loan to Ukraine to meet its military and economic needs for the next 2 years. We have a deal decision to provide 90 billion euros of support to Ukraine for 2026-27 approved. We committed, we delivered. EU Council President Antonio Casas said in a post on social media. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I still like the over.
From the KERN newsroom, your live and local news updates on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Chris Davis. A person was hit and killed last night on Highway 99 near White Lane, St. Police. That happened just before 6:30. Police say that person, for some reason, seemed to be jumping in and out of traffic. According to witnesses, the person's name has not been made public. A phishing scam is happening in McFarland, and police say the scammers could steal your info if you're not careful. The victims have gotten a link on their phone asking them to take a survey about issues happening in McFarland. Tapping on that link is the big mistake, say police. That could end up with your personal info in the databanks of scammers. If you're filling up for the weekend, a gallon of regular on average is now $4.28 in California, says Gas Buddy. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Are the rising waters of expenses and debt threatening to drown you? Many people try to stay afloat by borrowing more money or using debt settlement programs, but those can take years. If you're trapped under credit card debt, medical bills, payday loans, or buy now, pay later plans, Chapter 7 bankruptcy could free you much sooner, in about 4 months and for a fraction of the cost. Stop the harassing calls and letters, rebuild your credit quickly, and clear the way for a fresh start. At Clean Slate BK Group, consumer Chapter 7 bankruptcies are all we do. We can help you erase credit card debt, medical bills, personal loans, even past due utility bills. Find out if you qualify at no cost and with no obligation. Go to csbk.com. This is an attorney advertisement. Your results may vary, and prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome. Clean Slate BK Group PC, located at 7 Penn Plaza, Suite 601, New York, 10001, is responsible for the content of this ad. For more information, visit csbk.com. That's csbk.com. Your clean slate starts here.
The holidays need more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
10 athletes will face the toughest job interview in fitness that will push past physical and mental breaking points. You are the fittest of the fit. Only one of you will leave here with an iFit contract for $250,000.
This is when mindset comes in.
Someone will be eliminated.
Pressure is coming down.
This is Trainer Games.
Watch it on Prime Video starting January 8th.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
I'm tired of waking up and hearing another case of a DUI. We just had the Madison Williams case where she was found guilty. We have another trial going on where a 6-year-old was killed. Now again, I'm hearing an 8-year-old is dead because of an alleged DUI. Something needs to be done to fix this.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You wish you could give more than just presents from a store.
842-5376, 842-KERN. Let's check the board, see what everybody's saying on this 19th day of December.
Ralph, if Scribner is not able to pay for his kids because of no job, then how can he afford CSUB if he's still attending?
I thought I said that. How did he afford HA Sala is the question. Hell, you can put a couple of nickels and take a class at Cal State, but you pick up the phone at HA's and he picks it up, that'll be $1,500, let alone what his retainer is. I've told you, I had a friend whose children got into a little trouble, and they went to a pretty good attorney. One, if I said his name, you probably recognize it, but certainly not on a level of Umberto Sala. I don't think many attorneys in this town are. And his retainer was $10,000. The B- attorney that I'm alluding to, not at Sala. So imagine what HA's is. The retainer, meaning what you have to put up just to come sit down in my office. So to hell with his Cal State fees. Who's paying HA? And yet he doesn't have a nickel for his kids. He may be mentally ill, but he's not a man. He's not a man. Because I think most Americans would agree that the most fundamental, the single most important thing an adult can do is support his family and be a part of making the children you bring into this world stable, secure, safe, and part of the maturation process. And the tragedy of this entire event goes way beyond Zach Scrivener. Who gives a damn about Zach Scrivener? But those children who were involved in a fight with their father, who saw their father in an incredibly weak, vulnerable mental state, waving a gun around, a knife was involved to subdue the father. I don't want to say they're done because I don't know. I'm not a physician, but they are certainly damaged. I think that's pretty easy to see. And while Mr. Scrivener's priority is his own future, because he's laying it out by taking classes at Cal State, no support for his estranged wife, no support for his children. And I hope he is unemployable. I'm willing to admit he has mental issues, but I hope he remains a pariah in this community. I really do. I just, beyond the allegations, just the idea that he hasn't gone to his parents and said, will you help me support my family? Will you help me give money that my children have clothing, et cetera, et cetera? Now, maybe that's what's going on. Maybe the grandparents are helping. I don't know. But the idea that this man was able to walk away from his family and feel so comfortable that he could go take classes at Cal State and dodge a pretty big missile, not a bullet, but a pretty big missile, is reprehensible. And I'm not even talking about the allegations of sexual abuse or anything of that nature. I'm simply talking about walking away from his family and his basic fundamental responsibility. What else you got?
Mental health treatment for the privileged, hard time with Bubble for the rest of us. He got a pass.
Well, I DVR it, so I'll tell you on Monday, and I'm sure you'll be watching it, the 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock KGT News. And if I'm wrong, I will be stunned, but they do polls on their show where people call in and give their opinion. And if it's below 80% that say he got a pass, I'll be stunned. I'll be absolutely stunned. Is that fair, as Mr. Sala put it? Probably not. But guess what? Life's not fair. Life's not fair. Period. One of the great lessons I learned in 11th grade, Sarah Wallace's English class, she had it in big bold letters over her as you enter her classroom, and it was the first speech she ever gave us. Don't argue with me about what grade you got on your essays. Don't argue about me about fairness, because life is not fair. And the phrase that I like to use, life will kick you in the teeth and keep on stepping. But for some, life is incredibly fair. I remember when we got into a discussion earlier this week with Barbara about money? Do you really think that Mr. Scrivener would be in the position he's in right now if he didn't have money? Could he have retained HA Sala if he didn't have money? Would he be taking a class at Cal State if he didn't have money? Would he have a roof over his head as a grown man who I believe is either staring 50 in the mug or is in his 50s? He's living somewhere. Ain't got no job, but he's got a roof over his house and had a pretty doggone good-looking suit on this week. Don't tell me money doesn't matter. And when we got into this argument with Barbara, what was my thesis? Money can't make you happy. I know so many millionaires that are miserable. But when times get hard and friends get few, and you're in a tough spot, whether it's your physical health, your mental health, your criminal situation, your familial situation, when things get tough, money helps. What else?
Sala is an amazingly smart man. He's also a gifted public speaker, but his premise and rationale just don't pass the smell test. The smells of special treatment.
Well, I would disagree. I think the case that he made is incredibly strong and absolutely airtight. There were a number of mental health people that examined him. The AG's office offered no counter therapists, and you heard Mr. Sala say, I don't think they could find one that could refute what they had established. And I don't doubt that on that infamous day in Tehachapi that Mr. Scrivener was suffering from depression, was suffering from anxiety. He was in a troubled marriage. He was drinking entirely too much. And if you ask me, he was on narcotics beyond prescription. But as I pointed out at the top of the show, can all of us at some juncture in our life claim the very same thing? In fact, how many of you have not suffered from depression or anxiety or gone through a period in your life where you either drank too much or maybe had an injury and had a bad spat with opioids? I have a lot of established friends who had legitimate injuries and ended up either in rehab or having to go cold turkey to get off opioids. I just don't think that this is a rare case. As I pointed out, so Tuesday night, 10:30 at night, high school friend is in town for work, and they're downtown drinking, and I get up off my couch on a weekday and go down and close the place. And by 3 o'clock that morning, I'm on the internet, radio talk shows, arrested for DUI. You don't think I was depressed? You don't think I thought my career was over, if not my job? You don't think that I went through years of humiliation, of being called a drunk, an irresponsible adult, Otis of Bakersfield? Life sucks. We all have to deal with it. And then there are blips, whether it's the holidays and seeing your family, your son or your daughter doing something great. But life is difficult. Life is hard. That's why I think we've done a disservice to our young people by helicopter parenting them till they're 18, 20 years old. And then they get out on their own and life kicks them in the teeth. And they're like, this isn't supposed to happen to me. Why is this happening to me? This isn't fair. This isn't right. Yeah, guess what? You know what they call that? Life. That's what they call it. Life's not fair. You can be wronged. You can be in the right and be wronged. You can have a job that you can't stand, but you can't leave because you got to earn a living. Life sucks. That's why we go on vacations. That's why we spend time with our families. That's why Christmas is the most joyous time of the year. We don't work. We get to be with our family. We get to eat whatever the sandhill we want. But we need these respites. Why? Because life sucks. Life is hard. But now can we all claim mental illness when we get arrested? When we get in trouble, can we lean on our depression? in our tough life for circumventing punishment and standing up for what's right and taking accountability for our actions? We cannot just say, I need a mental diversion program. I'm ill. You know, I heard JR the other day comparing this to Fernando Jara and how he gives Jara a break because he's mentally ill. No. Fernando Jara is in where he's in because he wouldn't take his meds. That's accountability. That's his own personal issue. He had the money to take care of his issue. He had the assistance in his wife to get help and seek help. He chose not to take his meds and go all haywire. Let's go ahead and take our final break. My final Friday of 2025. I shan't be here a week from today. RB will be sitting in this chair, but it won't be this RB. Mr. Bentley will be sitting in for me next Friday as we get set to get into 2026, where we're going to make some musical changes on the broadcast. Musical changes. And we might even change the opening. And you might see some other little twists and turns on TRBS in the year 2026. As I like to say, please stand by. Final break of the week. Keep it locked. The Charlie Kirk Show at the top of the hour. Speaking of the devil, did you hear this? Erica Kirk has endorsed J.D. Vance for president. Say what? He hasn't even announced. Not that he's not running. Excuse my double negative. But, wow. Talk about putting your thumb on the scale for the Republican nomination. Because she brings a lot of votes. Turning Point USA. Her husband delivered Arizona for Mr. Trump. No question about that. We'll take our final break. Come right back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, where we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox.
Okay, how am I going to do this? Three, two. I don't doubt that infamous weekend in Tehachapi, Zach Scrivener was suffering from mental health issues. But how many of us, when times get hard and friends get few and we do something we regret, aren't suffering from depression and anxiety? Had I known that that is an avenue to divert jail time, good googly moogly, I would have used that 19 years ago. 3, 2, It's that man again. 3 more days before a much needed and little deserved vacation. But Jeet Singh will join us on Monday along with Kathy Abernathy and me at 3. It's TRBS right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. I'll see you Monday. Save those Campbell bites. We'll use them Monday. Save those Campbell bites. We'll use them Monday.
I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement. Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk.
What's her name?
Annie Murray, maybe?
Is she from Canada?
I'm looking up Canadian singers that sound similar to Karen Carpenter. That's the first one popped up.
Is there a picture of her?
Yes.
Is she a beautiful blonde?
No.
Well, she's not beautiful or she's not blonde?
Jury's out on both.
Well, then it's not who I'm thinking of. Let's try to answer as many texts as we can and get out of here.
Ralph, the number one sign that the economy is receding is radio advertisements are shrinking. Cool.
Not at this company.
We're fine.
In fact, I just got a new sponsor starting in January. Big Mike's Rage and Barbecue. And yes, after 9 years, we're still smoking hot. In fact, I have 2 new sponsors starting in January. It just depends on what radio group you have. Our radio group is doing just fine. What else you got?
Mr. Sala is a true professional. He came on the show knowing that he had an unpopular position to discuss. Lots of attorneys in town are crybabies that would never.
You're absolutely right. He has always been a very dear friend of the show. I don't think he's ever turned me down. He knows he had a strong case. He had, professionals who said this man was ill. And we all are in no position to question that because we don't know what we're talking about. But I think it is the same thing with Trump and the economy. When Trump says the economy is doing well, he's absolutely right. And he can point to a number of things that can highlight his point. I heard Howard Switkoff, or whatever is one of the cabinet members' name is, I can't remember his name, was talking about it and kind of chronicling it today. But the feeling of America isn't with him. And I think it's the same thing, that technically, by the book, he is suffering from mental health. But you'll never convince this community of that. Never, ever. But yeah, Mr. Sala is the ultimate pro. And like I said, has always been a tremendous friend to this broadcast. What else you got?
Ralph, you should probably ask BCC to punch the greens after your tournament. Brandon Lang would not speak kindly if you bring him all the way out here and he has to putt on punched greens.
Well, unfortunately, March is about the time that we have the tournament, late March, and that's right around the time. I think it'll be about 2 or 3 weeks after they punch. But what you are underscoring, either you've never been to BCC or never played the golf course. It is such a beautiful golf course that a little punch. In fact, punching may help our tournament because it slows those greens down. At their maximum, when they're at like a 13 or 14, the average amateur that comes and plays in a scramble wouldn't be able to handle those greens. So I think it helps. It absolutely helps. And we're going to show Brandon such a great time. And we're going to have so much fun at that tournament that the greens are the last things that I think is going to be on his mind. Good googly moogly. He's going to fly all the way out here. We're taking him to Casey's Steakhouse. We're taking him to Luigi's. We're going to
show with him.
Yeah, we're doing the show with him. The last thing he's going to say when he goes back to his wife is, yeah, but the greens were punched. It was horrible. Good God. What else you got?
Tehachapi Police is probably glad they didn't get involved at this point.
No, I bet they're probably upset because I think they probably feel like they would have thrown the book at him. But what do I know? What else?
The California scenes from Into the Wild are from the desert communities surrounding the Salton Sea. That's Ragon's preference point for the Central Valley.
Come on, the guy grew up in New York. Then he moved to Washington, D.C. Then he moved to St. Louis, and he moved to Philly. You should have seen my face the first day I moved up here to Bakersfield. I was like, where the hell have I landed? Am I in Tulsa? And is that a woman driving a truck? I'm telling you, I had never seen that in my life. A woman driving an F-150? You just don't see that on the streets of Los Angeles. And you damn sure don't see it in New York, Washington, Philly, or St. Louis. This place is, the way I used to describe it when I first moved here, it's like when you go over the grapevine, you've left the state of California and you've entered Oklahoma. One more, and I'm going home to watch the ball game.
Is it Celine Dion?
That's her name? Yeah, why?
They're asking if that's the woman.
No. Anne Murray.
That's what I said.
You said Anne Marie. I thought that's what you said.
Oh.
Anne Murray. That's the woman. You don't think Anne Murray's attractive? You had Anne Murray there, and you don't think she's attractive?
If this is the picture of the woman I'm thinking or looking at, I mean, I'll pass.
I had a gargantuan crush on Anne Murray as a boy. Forget you, Chris.
Randy said, who haven't you had a crush on?
Tell him to go home to his wife. That's going to do it. I want to thank Rick Bentley, Umberto Sala, Brandon Lang. For Chris Burdick, I'm Ralph Bailey. That's what's really going on. I will rap to you on Monday.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The White House has a plan to lower drug prices.
President Trump announced 9 drug makers have agreed to lower the cost of their prescription drugs.
This is the biggest thing having to do with drugs in the history of the purchase of drugs.
The companies, including Bristol-Myers Squibb, Merck, and Novartis, agreed to offer all of their flagship drugs at heavily discounted, most favored nation prices.
In other words, whatever the drug sells for over the world, in the world.
Have a good weekend.
Whatever the lowest number is, if it's Germany, if it's in UK, anywhere, we will match that price.
Patients in Medicaid already pay a nominal amount to fill their prescriptions, but lower prices could help people with no insurance. Ed Donahue, Washington.